Hey everybody, J-Man here, and today we have a special. I guess it's a special Monday night because normally I'm not on Monday nights, but we are going to try to be doing some more Monday nights with talking about Legion of Superheroes, of course. So this is the first one that we're doing. So I want to just we're gonna kind of get going right away. There's not going to be too many updates this week. I'm on vacation this week, so really the next stream will be the Wednesday stream with Steven and I doing the wrestling. And then only one more stream this week, and that's going to be Friday night. And Friday, we're going to be continuing on our 80s fantasy verses. So here's where we're at. So a few weeks ago, Conquest beat out Deathstalker just barely. And the Barbarians beat out the Lou Ferrigno Hercules film, so you can see where they're standing. So this Friday, we're going to be doing Hawk the Slayer versus Ator the Flying Eagle. All right, so that's going to be this Friday, and Wednesday will be the wrestling stream as usual. Okay, so that's it. Really quick, we're going to get right into it, and I'll bring in my co-host.
Hey, what's up,
Hey, how's it going? All right.
It's all right, man. Excited for this, actually.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
I just realized all the Legion comics that I own are about this thick, so I don't have very many. So
Okay.
we have our expert here.
Yeah, we have an expert today.
we have the Legion expert. We actually have the entire Legion of Superheroes.
Yeah.
We're just gonna bring them in. We bring them in one at a time. Send them the. I'm gonna clip that. I'm gonna clip that from Deadwood for for special guests. All right, guys. So let's bring in our special guest. I don't. Do I have an intro that I can do for? I'll try to find a Legion intro or something.
Yeah.
I'll give you. Here, I'll give you the He-Man punch. Hey, Clobberin.
It's Legion in time.
Yes.
By the way, can 3 be a Legion?
Yeah.
At this point, well, does it count? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a little fuzzy on the word.
Yeah, I guess
like those other guys, but
yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Like a gang of superheroes, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. Hey, Riz, how's it going?
Hey.
Yeah. So before we're going to talk about Adventure Comics number 247, first appearance of the Legion, and this background here is the like Alex Ross kind of like take on the cover. Homage, yeah. And nice. I'm playing with StreamYards. They introduced these new things where you can kind of move the people around. So I thought I'd get us in this, and this might be a cool background to just use. Yeah, it looks good. I really like. I literally have the background up, and I'm like, okay, I got to measure this out, and so I think this will be good. And I think Sean, Clobby, you guys are good if we do this as like sort of a monthly thing, because I know we're doing the Earth Beast stuff on your channel. So.
Yeah, no, I'm good with that. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Perfect. Okay, so I think before we really start, I did post a poll for out of these three only. So who's your favorite out of these three? Now I put Lightning Lad because that's the name I'm used to, but I know it's Lightning Boy in this particular comic. Yeah. But we were talking backstage, and I guess Clobby, you're saying that a lot of these early appearances is like they're not really like they're kind of still figuring it out.
Boy, howdy, are they? Boy. Oh my God, they're so raw and so unrefined. When you haven't read them for a long time, and then you read so much other stuff way after it, you go back and go, whoa, did they do a lot of changing later?
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. So, that's the way things. A lot of things are like that. I mean, it's comics for you.
Yep. Yeah, and that's why I always get upset, or that's why it's always like people say, well, they use the term it was in like when they're talking about a movie or a cartoon or something like, well, that was in the comics. It's like, well, there's a lot of stuff in the comics. I always say Superman had a mullet in the comics, and Superman was also the electric version. So it's like, what Superman are you talking about when it's like you can't use that argument to defend a bad decision by saying it was in the comics, right? Like that's
so much. By the way, who did you vote for, Sean?
Did you vote, Sean? I just posted the poll, so I don't know if I can't vote.
I can't on my phone. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I have to go. I have to go on YouTube on my
Well, who would you vote for out of the two? Since we know you go with Lightning Lad, then Jay, I'm just curious who you guys vote for out of the three.
I would vote
If you're not including
Saturn,
Superboy.
I would vote Saturn Girl because like I like the fact that like she has mind powers, but she could do pretty much anything according to these comics. It's like anything you're like, well, what can someone with mind powers do? It's like, oh, any freaking thing, man. Just get the fish to do stuff for you.
Right.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I guess
I'm gonna show you mine. Hold on, I'll be back in just 2 seconds.
Okay.
You guys continue on.
I base mine on just my years of love for the characters, and I do like Garth. He can be a little weird after a while. I mean, these characters like so real to me. I go, but not just think of their powers as much, but I do, of course. Rock Crimson, one of my favorite Legionnaires. I love Cosmic Boy. I think he's, my favorite Legionnaire not called Superboy is Monel, but Rock makes it into the top 2 or 3 for me. And we've got Lord Thoth here. He's a fellow Legionnaire extraordinaire. He loves the Legion, and he's got his favorites. And so, but I love Imra Ardeen. I love, like I said, love Garth Rands, even though he's been he can be a nut sometimes. But yeah, for me, these characters are all special, and Rock is, to call him like I know him or something. I love the Legion name game. Cosmic Boy would be mine.
All right, so I'll show you my favorite out of these 3 and one of my favorites in general. I'll make myself full so you guys can see this better. So I posted this on Twitter and Facebook group and stuff. I make these little characters out of cardboard, and I kind of I use Photoshop to create them, and then I assemble them up. So there's my
Rock.
Cool.
Cosmic Boy.
And oh my God, you got him in his Chippendales outfit.
Yes.
Bronze Age.
Sorry, let me get my.
You got him in his Mike Grell Chippendales.
Yeah. So outfit. You know what happened with that was that I kind of like that costume. I don't know why. I saw him. I was like, he looks like he's buff. I'm like, okay, Cosmic Boy, you like, this guy's like, I'm tired. I'm gonna, I want to get the ladies' attention here. It's like, if you got a good body, show it off, I guess. I don't know. It's like if I was Cosmic Boy, I would be wearing that too. So
yeah.
LT, you should be here, dude. Man, he's
does LT? Yeah, LT comes on here.
He's a busy man sometimes, but he's good. He and I are very soon finally going to do what we've been planning for over a year and a half now. We're going to be reviewing the Great Darkness Saga. I hope soon, buddy. I hope soon. I'm trying to pressure him. See.
Awesome. All right, so since this obviously we're just gonna do the appearance of the Legion because there's an Aquaman story, there's a Green Arrow story and stuff.
Yeah.
But we're just gonna do the Legion because this is an anthology book.
Of course.
But it's short, so I think. Well, I'll start by saying just my relationship to the Legion, and then Club, you can go last because you're gonna have the most to say, and
Right.
Legion of Superheroes to me was sort of like really a non-player in the game. I never, because I like DC and Marvel. I like both. I wasn't like Marvel's better. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman are my 3 favorite superheroes. And then pretty much the rest of the next, let's say 10 or 12, if I'm doing my top 25, the first 3 are DC. And then the next, 12 to 15 are Marvel. And then we start getting into, I also like Green Arrow and Flash and Swamp Thing and whatever. And but it takes a while. So it's like majority of the characters are Marvel, but I always love DC, but I never read anything with the Legion at all. I did not. And from whenever we talked, maybe you remember, Clobby, let's say it was 6 months ago or something, or 7 months ago, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Never read any Legion, didn't know anyone's name. Like Cosmic Boy, if you blanked out, like if you put your hand over top of the names and said go, I would have said, oh, lightning something, because I could see the lightning bolts. I would be like, Saturn, maybe I could guess. I could not guess Cosmic Boy. I don't know anybody. So you and LT also, you guys would always talk about this, along with the Legion, all this stuff. I'm like, okay, maybe I should read some of these. So I said, let me just go 247, and we're going to read it off the same site I read it, because obviously I don't have issue number 247 in my collection. I read it. I thought, oh, this is so cool. And I love Superboy anyway, right? So I like Superman and Superboy. Superman's my favorite character. So I thought, let me go and at least read the Superboy appearances. And then I was like, you know what? They're just so sporadic. I'm like, I know through research that the comic was Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes or whatever. And that's and that was 197. And I do have that one.
Yeah, buddy.
This is a nice one.
They have it on a shirt.
Nice.
Oh wow.
I love that
So
comic.
I basically said, let me start from there. So that's 197. So I got to about, I think, 217. So 197, 198, 199, up to about 217. I was collecting those two in physical. So I do have a lot of, not all of those, but a good amount of them in physical form that I was getting from the shows. And I was just like, the Legion is so awesome. I was just falling in love with the Legion. I thought, this is so cool. Like, these guys are this is so interesting. Jim Shooter as a kid, like, okay, I don't know, man. I like Jim Shooter. I don't know what the relationship is with the comic fans and Jim Shooter, but what I'm seeing, like, this kid is like coming up with these wicked stories, and you're like, this is so cool. And I'm like, this kid at 13 or 14 or wherever how old he was is like 50 times better than any adult writing comics now. I'm like, this is insane. And I just fell in love with these characters. So I was like, okay, I got to do something. I thought, well, I'm not going to do it without Clobby since he's the one who kind of got me into it.
Oh man, I'm honored.
Yeah. Oh no. It's literally like it's a change my life thing where I'm like, wow, because I would have never thought the Legion of Superheroes was anything. I just thought, yeah, it's too weird. I lied. I knew about them because they were on Supergirl and I watched Supergirl, and they weren't anything great in Supergirl. Although I didn't think Mondale, I thought this guy's kind of, looked cool, and I was like, okay. So I knew them a little bit from that, but obviously those appearances were not enough to get me to be like, well, I got to read the comics, right?
So. Wow, Lord Dothis has his CGC, in other words, slabs copy of 247 there. Wow.
Whoa.
Serious stuff.
Oh, hell yeah.
That ain't cheap, buddy. Well, dude,
is really
I'm
good.
so honored to hear that, man. I can't even tell you, but look, because that's why I admire you so much, Jay, man. I'm a closed-minded SOB most of the time, and I don't think I'm going to like something. It's not impossible now. I will go try things, but I'm not that much. I'm not as adventurous in trying things as you are. I'll fully admit it. Everyone's different. I do and sometimes when I do, I'm pleasantly surprised, and sometimes I'm like, well, I'm glad I tried it. So I'm not completely closed that way. I make a joke. I joke. But I'm not like you are, where you'll just give something a shot, and when you do it, man, you go whole hog on it. You just go right into it, and your enthusiasm is extraordinary. And if you don't like it, and I'm sure it's happened to you, you're like, oh well, I gave it a shot. And that was the good thing. And so, man, I'm happy to hear that. Very proud to hear it, and I'm glad you enjoy it. And because we Legion fans are in small supply these days, we always get made fun of as some sort of a niche type of comics subset, and I've told you about some of that stuff before, but I dearly love them. I mean, as you know, I'm the Fantastic Four guy. I love them. If I love the Fantastic Four more, it's only by such a sliver that you can't even say. Well, Fantastic Four and Legion are probably, outside of like Superman and Batman, my loves there are probably my favorite things about comics.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I mean, you got 2 points on your thing. The other one was Blake 7, which we're almost done. We just watched one before the stream.
Thanks.
We just watched Star Drive was yesterday, and then we just watched Animal. Was Animal the next one?
Animals is I think after, which is probably the worst episode of Blake 7 ever.
Yeah. Okay, so I was watching it just now, right before the stream, eating dinner with my wife, and this is our second time. And I didn't say anything to my wife because like she just loves all of Blake 7. And I was thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, I remember Clobby does not like this one at all. This is his weakest. And I still thought it was kind of cool. I'm like, the costumes are cool.
Yeah. The worst episode still is, I mean, by the way, there are a lot of Blake 7's fans that hate the fourth season. And I don't. I will defend this fourth season to the death. It doesn't mean I can't say an episode is flawed, I'll do that. But no, I mean, look, I'm even kind to Animals. When on my rating scale, I've only had it like a pretty. It still didn't get a 0, and everything like that. So there you go. Look at Fancy. Now there's a Legion fan there too.
Yeah, Fancy. Hey, Fancy. Yeah, could not be reached. Blake 7. Cool. Yeah, no, Blake 7 is also. That's the other one. Now, Prisoner I knew about before. So, but I didn't know. Like, that was a big one. But what was the other? Was there anything else? I was trying to think. Like, those are the 2 big ones. Where like, oh man, like it's like I got the Avon. I've got 2 Avon shirts. I got an Avon shirt. I got an Avon sweater, hoodie, and I had to get Avon on my thing. He's like, I bought his book, read his book, listened to the audio version of his book. Like Paul Darrow is like, I'm saddened.
I love that man.
Yeah, we've got his autograph. Unfortunately, it was through it's like a reseller. And we got Blake's autograph as well through a reseller.
Oh man,
so good. So Phantom voted Cosmic Boy. Cool. I know Cosmic Boy is awesome. I don't know. I like Cosmic Boy a lot.
He's a great of the founders. He's my favorite, but I love him all.
All right, so Sean, So what's your take on Legion from before? Because we never really, you and I never talked. This is the one
Talked
we've
about,
never
yeah.
talked. We've never
Yeah.
talked about this. I have no idea what you know.
Well, like I knew about the Legion, but I was never like super into it, and it's always something I wanted to get into, but it always felt like intimidating to me.
I agree.
There's so many of them and stuff, but like anything I ever read, from childhood onward was awesome, and just like for whatever reason, I was concentrating on other things. My first Legion comic, I had to go to the doctor downtown, and he like has practice close to a McDonald's, so you have that for lunch, of course. And then there's a on the way to McDonald's on that walk, there's a bookstore. This is like downtown in like Queen Street or something. There's a bookstore.
Jesus Christ, Sean! I know where you went. My doctor was there too. This is insane.
Yeah, it's like they have books and comics. In the back, there's comics, and the comics are like dog-eared and crap,
It's
right?
garbage. It may as well be a dumpster.
And it's like, and I get like
crazy.
I get Battlestar Galactica. I get like World's Finest and all that,
Nice.
And,
God.
and I picked this out.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
This is freaking awesome, man. So the cover is really bold, and I was like, "What? This looks cool, man." He's like with a bunch of guys, and so I read and reread this as a kid, and I was like, "This is awesome." But like at the time, they're rebooting everything, so you had to get back issues like that from like the back of stores. Like I got this,
Right.
so it was hard to find, right? And I have a stack of them now, and they're all great, like Colossal Boy and everything, and like it's all cool. And I like too, like this issue and the others like it. It's a clash of like fun comic book stuff with kind of Star Trek-ish dilemmas. It's like there's some sort of weird thing they have to resolve, like they have to solve a science mystery or something, with like comic book science, right? But I thought that was really cool. I thought it was really awesome, and they have a ship and stuff. So yeah, I really liked Legion. I just never got into it as a kid. I was like onto other things like Spider-Man and stuff like that.
Right.
Now I'm starting up a collection. I don't think I'll get everything, but it's all pre-Crisis for me. Because anything after that, like one time I was in the hospital as a kid, and my dad bought a stack of comics, and one of them was one of the more at the time modern Legion comics, and I recognized it wasn't fun. It was just guys talking about their relationships. It was like, and I think that the cover was like a guy and a woman about to kiss, and I was like,
I'm seeing it in my head right now.
Or?
I see it.
Yeah.
That's probably the Tom and Mary beer bomb run.
Yeah, and I was like, "Are you gonna fight somebody?" It's like, "No, I'm sick here, man. Entertain me." Like what? God.
Legion was a soap opera, but they never let it overtake the whole comic.
Yeah, it's like you took that, and then you read a Superman or something like that. So yeah, I love it, but it's been on again, off again. Like it's not something I really concentrate on, but now I'm getting more and more into it. It's really, I mean, I love anything, like I'm of the generation that likes G.I. Joe, Real American Hero, right? And I love that this is like a whole team of like just superheroes, and like their villains are awesome too. Like this is something that could have been a really big like franchise if they didn't cut it off at the kneecaps, But anyways, that's a whole other discussion.
Right.
Yeah,
no, that's awesome. I should bring. I've got those big. I'm just gonna call it treasury because I don't know. I have two Superboy and Legion treasury ones. I've got those. I forgot. I should have brought those up. They're actually in my. I have a shelf for like more like.
And that
books.
That was an original story too. Like it wasn't something they reprinted. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Probably you could confirm, but
I'll get it in a minute. It's just in the next room. Go grab it in a minute.
I'm pretty sure it says that on the one I have says that on the cover. It's like brand new story or something like that.
I've got two, Clobby. I'll bring them out after.
One is new, and there's a reprint one, and there's one. The Mike Grell one is a new story.
Yeah,
it's the wedding of excuse me, of Lightning Lad and Saturn Girl. Unfortunately, it's inked by Vince Coletta, but the art is by Mike Grell. I have mine signed by Grell, and he signed it so small you can barely see it.
Yeah,
on the cover.
Cool. Okay, well, Clobby, so let's. So, where did you first how did you come upon the Legion, just in general?
Well, for me, I think it was. I just picked up I love Superboy.
Right.
Obviously, I was a huge Superboy fan, of course, and if I remember right, oh God, it was in they. I saw an early issue with a Grell issue. Oh, again, I can't give you the damn issue number or exactly pick it out of the lineup, but I started seeing the book around 1974 or 5, 3 or 4 or 5, somewhere up in there, probably 4. And it didn't take me long to see, it's Superboy hanging out with these weird looking superheroes. I may have seen a couple of them before that, but I remember just buying one. Usually I was just, if I had so much money at the 7-Eleven, if there's an FF comic there, it's not going to get passed up. If there's a Spider-Man, if there's a Superman or a Batman, that stuff is priority. And then when you never, you still want to get your candy bar, you still want to get your Slurpee with the superhero cup, whatever.
Right.
I saw when there was Superboy he didn't really have a series at that point because he was with the Legion. It was Superboy starring the Legion and Superboy and the Legion.
Right.
So I would see that once in a while. The distribution down here was not that great. But when I didn't see anything like that, I would just buy the other characters. But when I would see time I would see, all of a sudden start seeing the Superboy and Legion title, I go, oh, it's Superboy. Oh my God. And the Legion of Superheroes, I guess I can see the comic in my head. I just can't remember the issue number.
What's the cover?
One.
Well, do you remember what the cover looked like? I'll see if I can find it while we're.
It was it was a Mike Grell issue. So
Okay.
it was in the two teens. It was in the 2 teens. I'm just forgetting the issue number.
Right.
And I saw that, bought it, and said, "Oh my God!" After that, I never missed one when I can get it. As again, I had to buy it at the 7-Eleven and at the drugstore, so I would miss stuff. But I would never pass up. It came right up there with Fantastic Four, and I guess why. I don't know. First of all, again, Superboy. Enough said.
Right.
And I started to really fall in love with these other heroes, and I just started thinking, I guess the Fantastic Four and the Legion have one thing in common. They're the most science fiction related superhero titles there ever.
Right.
There's close to Star Trek type superhero book characters or stories you can get because yes, what intrigued me about the Legion was sure they have superpowers, but they're in the 1,000 years in the future where technology is just as dangerous. It's a lot more dangerous having superpowers against that kind of technology as it is in today's superheroes running around New York doing whatever they do. And that intrigued me as well as Sean was talking about the science fiction type of adventures combined with superhero genre. Just fascinated me. Hey, your Muslim uncle, what's up?
How's it going?
So somewhere there in the 2 teens. So that would be, I'm ballparking 1973, 4, 5, somewhere up in there.
Right. So that's 40-cent cover. Was it 35 cents?
Oh,
40
no,
cents?
25 cents.
25-cent cover? Okay.
When I started buying, able to actually go get comics off the racks,
Right.
they just got graduated from 20 to 25 cents, right around there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at some of the ones I have. So 209, 212. Yeah, these are all the 25. So what was did you get allowance or how did
Yeah. Well, I had to cut grass for it.
Okay. So did you get like what, a couple of bucks or something? Or I don't know what the money is.
Well, if I had $3 to $4 on me, I'm doing pretty good. If I had
Okay,
5,
so
it's because I went and cut some grass and did some other stuff. And the incentive was comics, believe it or not. I went and asked for other crap to do so I could. Oh, also, I don't know about if you guys did this. We would go collect old thrown away bottles for 5 cents, turn them in for 5 cents a piece to make some extra.
In the old days, yeah.
Okay, so I'll just confess this. I was an only child and spoiled like crazy. Like I was just handed money for being cute. That was it. They're just like, here's money. Go buy what you want. If I tell you my stuff, you're gonna hate me. It's like, but my mom worked. I had my grandparents to take care of me. My mom worked like 2 jobs though, and there were 6 of us in a 3-bedroom apartment. So it's not spoiled in that sense, but like if I wanted it, my grandparents would take me. I wanted Mego Superman. My grandfather drove me to every store there was and then we couldn't find it. And then he drove me around.
My grandmother. So yeah.
Yeah. Like because I was raised by my grandparents. The grandparents are easy. They never get mad at you. They're always cool with you. They love everything you do. Right?
I think I always wanted to go stay with my grandmother. I got so many comics and Migos.
Yeah. Well, my grandfather did grab my sideburns once and yank. I was being bad, and he would do. He came from communist Croatia where they torture the kids. It's like he would literally like grab my sideburns and yank my sideburn, and my grandmother would hit me with the wooden spoon and stuff. So I got hit a couple of times, but then I smartened up, and then after that it was like I was all good. All right, so yeah, okay, so you grabbed a few Legion comics in the teens. Oh
yes. If you show right quick, this is has been on my wall for about 30 years.
Wow, look at this. It's crazy.
This is the Keith Giffen Legion poster that came out right after the Great Darkness saga, around 83 or 4, whatever. I'm at a comic shop, a friend of mine's comic shop in 1990-ish, and somebody brought it in there framed. They were getting rid of a bunch of their stuff. And my friend who owned the comic shop, I said, "Oh, dude, you know you're not letting it out here without selling it to me." And I will. He's in a wheelchair. I said, "I'll put you in a bigger wheelchair if this thing gets out of here." And he just laughed at me and said, "Well, I'm not selling shit to you. You're taking it for free." He just gave it to me, and it's been hanging. My dear friend who owned that, it's been hanging on every wall I've ever had, and still is ever since. And it is at least, if it's not, it's at least 4 feet across almost. It's gigantic.
Wow.
And I love it. And a friend of mine, we used to look at this and we would play a game like naming the characters and stuff.
Yeah.
For hours, just because how pathetic we are. So just I would show that real quick. So
that is awesome.
That's when Keith Giffen was good.
Wow. Oops. Let's get that. Yeah. Hey, Quagnar. How's it going?
Quagnar. We got some Legion fans in here, man. We got some comic people here.
Yeah, we got all the high rollers coming to support the Legion. Okay, so then did you just, so it was Superboy that was like the draw pretty much, yes. Right?
I loved
which
Superboy.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I loved him because now see, I only knew of Superboy because of the cartoon at first. Just like I learned from Superman for the Filmation cartoon. Remember the Filmation Superboy cartoon?
Yeah.
And and so I loved him from that, but didn't get a lot of his comics until it was him in the Legion.
Okay, yeah, and that's pretty good. Sorry, go ahead.
Now I have a pretty good run of it. And in one form or another, reprint or whatever, I have every story from 1958, the beginning, 1989.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was looking at some of the reprints. And as usual, these collections don't really cover, hey, Double C. I haven't seen, they don't cover everything. Like I've been going through and trying to like piece together how someone could, because there's no way I could really get every proper issues. So I started from 197 and I just kind of from there went and then the other day when we went to this other shop, I grabbed some adventure. I basically took anything with Legion on it. And we are going to do, just so everybody knows, we are going to do this. We're going to go through all the appearances in order as much as we can and go through them all. And we are going to be using the website. I mean, there's just no other way to do it really. I can't buy everything and we can't put it up on the screen and all that. So it's easier anyway. Yeah. It's easier. And so we're getting what we can. I'm not going to show everything I have because it's still like a good amount, but cool. A lot of these shows that we have in Canada, they're pretty good unless it's something hot. Like, I don't know what's hot now because everything sucks, but
anything in a movie, right? Yeah.
Sure. Let's say like She-Hulk. So when She-Hulk aired on TV, they put all of the John Byrne She-Hulks out and
right.
And then like at that time I was going to Legion and Sean was finishing up ROM, right? Yeah. So who's gonna, like, there's no competition. Like that's why I was saying like Sean and I, we're the first people. I'm literally the first guy in every time, and Sean and I are the first 2 people in, and no one's looking for what we're looking for. It's always these guys going and collecting their little key books or whatever.
It's the hot things. They have no passion for like who they like and who they want.
Right. So Moon Knight was the one. What was that before She-Hulk? Moon Knight. So that was the. So you go to this, but the thing is, you go there and they put all the Moon Knight stuff out. But then you go and you're like, yeah, you got like Superboy. They're like, oh yeah, shit, yeah. That one guy in Vaughan, he's like, oh shit, yeah, I got a shit ton of Superboy. You want that? And I'm by myself going through Superboy, and nobody's there bothering me, right?
Yeah,
and
everyone's they're marking down old Action Comics because they're like, yeah, no, go ahead, man. No one else is buying them, unfortunately, right? Yeah.
Right. So it's unfortunate.
True. That's a good thing. Yeah,
it's a good thing for us. Unfortunate for the character. But Superboy from the TV series. Oh, I've got that. I've got all 4 seasons of that on DVD.
Yeah,
They're
I
great.
like that show.
Yeah.
Best Lana Lang of all time.
Oh, you ain't kidding, buddy. Oh my God.
I'm like, when's Superboy going to appear? He's like, he's on screen right now. It's like, if he's next to Lana, he's not on screen.
Well,
Hey,
it's like, yeah. Well, it's like best live action Mixies Pitlick to date. Best live action Bizarro to date.
I agree.
It's like that. It's crazy. Like, what the hell is their problem, man? It's like,
that was awesome,
these characters should have been on screen 10 times in movies by now.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
actually, the Krypton TV show was kind of crappy, but the way that the Brainiac guy looked,
he looked good.
He looked pretty cool, and he had the. I was like, okay, so if they could make that now. They can make it. They can make it. They just don't want to. That's what the thing is. Mm-hmm. And you have to have a good story, which they're not going to have. They're never going to have a good story. So
they don't want to. You're exactly right. That's all it is. They don't want to. They don't give a crap.
Right. Like Krypton had 0 budget or whatever, and the guy looked pretty good as Brainiac. I'm like, well, this looks cool. So why can't they do that? Like with the budget of like of the like Man of Steel, which Clobberin calls Man of Steel. Hey Joe, how's it going?
Joe, what's up, Jobber?
All right, let's take a look. Should we take a look?
There we go. Adventure Comics number 247.
All right, 10 cents. Yeah, I'll buy that. I'll buy it for 10 cents.
I buy that for a dime.
So I love how
but you suck and you can't join us. We just brought you here to make fun of you and be mean to you. Sorry.
Yeah, can I tell that this is the first? What's that show called? Where they go and
they show.
No, the new one, the brand new X Factor. Is this
X Factor and stuff?
Or Got Talent, or America has
Got Talent. Yeah.
This is they copied it from this.
They copied it from this. I was gonna say.
So when I first looked this up, like 7-8 months, whenever it was when Clobby mentioned it to me, I'm like, holy shit, I know this cover, and this is where they stole that. This is where they stole that X Factor thing from. So can I say Superboy's? Can you guys see my mouse? I don't know if you can see my mouse.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna make this a little skinnier so I can see the chat. I won't be able to see you guys. Okay.
You're good. We can see the mouse.
Okay, all right. So look at his face. He's like, "What? What are you talking about?" It's like, I didn't
shift. What the hell? Who are these kids?
Yeah, and Saturn Girl's like is just like no, like
I don't like him.
Like Cosmic Boy's like, yeah, it's a no, right? Like look at his face. He's like, yeah. He goes, I think it's a no. He's like, no, and she's like, hell no. I'm like, dude.
These kids. They're just jerks that want to torture Superboy for no reason in the future.
Yeah,
like
in this comic.
Yeah, and little did she know that her costume will become more revealing as time goes on. All right.
Yes.
You got these.
Your pork chops.
This is great.
Yeah, I love
how they have a bad crowd.
Ads.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like I got to get to the Legion. What's going on here?
It's always cool that they have the ads though. It's kind of fun to see them.
All right, so here's the best. This is the best Superboy font ever for me.
Yes, sir. Yep.
I think that's my favorite font for judging fonts. It just feels like something fun's gonna happen, Eventual Superman when he was a boy. That's just to make sure that you understand what's going on. So this looks really cool. So you got he's like, whoa, these kids, they got one superpower each, and they can do stuff equal to any of mine. Whoa. And I'm like, well, you're still kind of better, but anyway.
It's sort of like, what? You guys have one superpower? Sure. Okay.
Yeah. No. Superboy's he's just being too nice.
And there's Cosmic Boy with his magnetic eyes.
Yeah. So, and also to point out, this is obviously before the rings because they've got little
way before the rings.
Right.
Because Brainiac 5 created those, didn't he?
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know that. All right. So this is just them. So jetpacks. So none of them can
actually. It was Monel that created them, but it was Brainiac 5 fixed them later. But I think Monel created them. Yeah.
I bet you Superboy can take them all.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, we're going to see about that, aren't we? Double C, hang on. We got to see what happens.
Yeah, what's going on here?
Oh, hold on a second. Don't get ahead of yourself. So they got jetpacks. So that's the first thing I noticed when I read this because I did know about the rings because the rings and all that were shown in other media and like cartoons and whatever, Supergirl and all that. So I thought, they got jetpacks now. I don't know what this is. I guess this is before. She's supposed to have mind mind power. So I'm not sure. I guess she's controlling these people's minds with. I guess that's just showing her mind power.
Yeah.
Cosmic Boy's basically magnetism, right? But he's saying magnetic eyes here.
Yeah.
So that got
so much is going to change later. This is very, how did I say it before? This is very raw interpretation. Yeah, this comic, of course, was Otto Binder, who'd been around a while. He's credited as writer with Al Plastino on the art, but Mort Weisinger was a very hands-on, very hands up your ass editor. And it really is reflective of the Mort Weisinger era here, which was at the time when, for like 20 some odd years, he controlled all of the Superman titles. He's nefarious. I don't know if you're familiar with the name Mort Weisinger. And one of the things that was a common thread through all of his stuff, as you'll see in this story and almost every story he did, to be honest, it always comes from he loves shock value. For example, the whole time they're all, bullying Superboy, and you're reading it as a kid like they're all, mean to him and doing all this kind of stuff, and at the end, it was just a head fake.
Yeah,
right.
That
Yeah, I know.
Stories, yeah, I find.
Yeah. And I'm thinking like they're so mean. I'm like,
by the way, I stirred up Phantom Outsider. You say one thing and you forget one element of something, and he's gonna be triggered, and that's what I want. And then you're gonna get a flow of information that he's gonna get mostly right and mostly Google. And I love that about him.
Oh, yeah. So Phantom, you can fact check. You could be Oracle or whatever.
He already is.
You could be Oracle.
I've always got that. I always like mistake ago. I always say Brainy because he did most stuff, but it was one L and one L, and then later on. So boom, if you say one thing incomplete, you're gonna get a storm from Fanty. So anyway, but this is common Mort Weisinger here. The whole, if you read any story he did back then, there's always like there's another one later where Superboy gets you'll read it later. It's a Legion story, but in this, everyone's messing with Superboy from the beginning, as you can see.
Yeah. So right away here, now these aren't very very long, but so they do have to kind of speed things up a little bit because there's not very many pages and they have lots of stories to tell, but still, even if this was a solo comic and it was all just Superboy, the comic book and the cartooning is still better than it is now. Yeah. But anyways, they're doing some shorthand, right? Like, okay, we know Superboy is like, so he's walking. By the way,
no, Fanty doesn't Google. I'm just teasing him.
I know. Oh man, no, don't worry.
I like stirring him up because he loves to do it to me.
So. So here we got Superboy, like Clark or whatever, walking down.
Hi, Superboy.
Like,
what the hell?
Hey, Superboy. He's like, okay.
You think I'm Superboy? Like, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Ha 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 ha. It's like, that's a fail. Superboy's not a good liar. Like to me, I'd be like, yeah, I got you on that one.
I'll burn you down with my heat vision. I'm not Superboy.
I'm not Superboy. So then he gets home and he takes off his thing and he's like, okay, I'm Superboy. Oh, no. He must have been joking. It's like, oh, I'll just forget about it. It's like, oh, okay. Then he comes out and it's like, whoa, hey, Clark Kent. Oh, come on, guys. So he's like, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I love this. Oh my gosh. Another boy seems to know my secret.
Something's wrong.
Something's wrong here.
Hey, there's a hot chick. Let me go talk to her.
Let me go talk to her.
She's like, say hi to your mother for me.
Yeah.
What's so stupid? It's like, Superboy, give my regards to Mr. and Mrs. Kent, your foster parents, when you return home. Out of the blue, out of nowhere. Not, hi, Superboy.
No.
That's the worst one of all three. It's like,
yeah.
I'm just like passing by and you say that. It's like, why? Okay. So don't tell me they're not screwing with him.
Yeah, I think the writer ran out of ways to say his identity, so they're like, "Yeah, he said your foster parents, Mr. and Mrs. Kent."
Hi, Clark. Yeah. She could have just said hi, Clark, like the other.
Yeah.
Get the message across. Yeah.
All right. So now they all meet up. And they're all start undressing, and he's just like, "Wow, what is happening right now? Why are these
you guys
people
taking your clothes off? What the hell?"
God, do you know what year we're supposed to be in here? Like,
yeah, it's a good thing we had these big bulky clothes under these other clothes.
Yeah,
and that helmet.
And this helmet. Wait a minute.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. Yeah.
Now, just in case you're not sure who's who, they wrote their names on their chest for you here, just in case you're not sure who anyone is. It's like the name tags of the future. They should put hello. My name is Cosmic Boy. That
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like, okay, so my secret identity is still safe. Okay, so that's good. So he's happy about that. And then okay, so Superhero Club. Now, do I can't remember. Do they actually say the word Legion of Superheroes, or is
Not
it
that I
just
It's in the
remember.
title. I mean, it's in the OPA.
It's in the title, yeah, but they don't say it.
Yeah.
okay? So they're like, okay, we want to make you a special member of the club, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, okay. And he's just like, well, I just do my job, which is why Superboy's so cool. He's just like, yeah, I just do my job. I'm not looking, to be famous or whatever. And they're like, no, don't be modest. Come to the 30th century. It's like, whoa, wouldn't you? You'd be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, just come to the future with us. Trust us.
Yeah, trust us to come to the future. It's like, it would be cool if there was a TARDIS. There was a Legion issue where you saw the Star Trek, Starship Enterprise in like in the junk. I think it was Legion. There was like a ship junkyard, and they friggin' had the Enterprise in there. I'm pretty sure that was in a Legion comic, and it's one that it's
Probably
between
something they just threw in, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's from Legion, but I read a lot of comics every day, so it's all mixed up.
Well, for a while there in the Cockrum and Grell issues, yeah, they admitted that their Legion cruiser was based on a variation on the Enterprise.
Yeah.
And then they do have a cool.
I love the Legion cruiser.
All right, so coming to the 30th century now time bubble, which now is here. I guess it was invisible.
The Superhero Club, and then we have. I'm not so sure that we're on the same page, if you pardon the pun, with calling them the Legion, because like I said, they're called that in the title page, but they keep saying Superhero Club, and they've got their names, written on their uniforms.
Yeah, it's just so. Yeah, they should say hello. My name is Cosmic Boy.
It's not even a logo. It's just written.
No, it's just like scroll on there so they can remember.
Yeah. Hey, Superboy. So just so you remember our names, we wrote them on our chest in the same font as the comic. It's the same font. Don't worry.
More Weisinger era stuff. He's just writing down to his audience. I mean, DC was. Let's just be clear about this. They were constantly accused of this at this era of writing down. Yes, I mean, comics were aimed at kids anyway, and they really wrote down to them.
And like this was colored by someone's niece. Like, what is this? This is just like, I don't know.
Yeah, they had poor printing process, but it was 1958. I mean,
yeah. All right, so then I do like this though. I like this effect of like this like sphere going through time, and it's like going. So that was kind of cool. This is really neat. Yeah. I love that there's like this just robot guy walking around like, hey, like picking up trash.
Like, Smallville's still a town by comparison. Hey, Pat,
what's up?
You
didn't get to know. Oh, dude, it's okay. You're okay. Though. We're just starting the comic. It's on like page 3 or whatever. So you're good. You haven't missed anything too big.
I tweeted it out.
So okay, so now they're here. Superboy can already fly, so he doesn't need a jetpack. And now he's like, wow, it's like Smallville's like this big thing, this big future city. But now they're saying, yeah, but I mean, there's bigger cities too. So it's like, remember Back to the Future 2, where he goes to that place, which is so great in 1985, but then in 2005 or 2015, it's trash, right?
Yeah.
So this is a smaller kind of city in the 30th century.
Yes, compared to at this time, it's not later, of course, in the Legion's in Metropolis, but that's Fandy's right though. That is a lot like the one they used for Rip Hunter, the comic.
Oh my god! Yeah, okay, cool. Superboy's hair. Well, what's wrong with his hair?
At the malt shop.
Oh.
What's wrong with Superboy's hair? His printer's ink black shiny. Oh. Yeah.
All right, so Jules Verne,
the Jules Verne, that's cool.
That's cool.
Around the world in 80 minutes.
80 minutes. Neat. Yeah.
80 seconds with this power. It's just me.
Yeah, it should be 80. Yeah, by this time,
that'd be too fast.
Yeah, because then you're not really enjoying it, right? It's got to be a ride
right.
too, right?
The Robot Factory. There's the Robot Factory.
Yeah, I love that. It's like the the nine delicious
cool.
flavors from 9 planets. It's like, but it's like, wow, how they've changed. It's like they're not. This was a bad call. I guess they thought they would last forever.
9.
Maybe-
They're about 32 flavors.
Yeah, we've got the Baskin.
We got
Robbins.
31 on Earth. They got 9. Whatever. That's cool.
Well, this is from different planets, so that's maybe there's
They're
other.
different. Yeah. You think they're better than like our ice cream?
I don't know. I'm getting ice cream tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm going to breakfast and getting a strawberry waffle. So
With ice cream?
no, but they put cream on it and they put custard.
Oh,
on it.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to Cora's. Yes, Sean.
Course, yeah.
They have not sponsored this video, so I'm not giving them any more.
Yeah, I know,
Hell
but
yeah.
it sounds
Sponsor
like
me.
course to me. Yeah.
We order while standing because it's like because that's all we get. My wife and I get the same thing. It's like she gets all the fruits. I get strawberry only, and then it's like that's it. All right.
Damn, Fanty. Gee, Lord. Fanty, you're being silly.
We want to taste serious.
Dude.
All right. So now they go, Robot Factory. Yep. That's what I would think.
And the school, for some reason.
School. So you got
Robot.
the teacher here.
This guy cracks me up, man. It's like, because they're like, oh, we got Superboy from the past. He's like, oh yeah, okay. It's like, dude, what about the time paradox? Like, what's happening? It's like you're super relaxed about this.
No
He's like, oh,
biggie.
great.
We just brought a guy from the past. And tomorrow we bring in George Washington to visit with you guys, and then it's cool. Nothing wrong with it.
Like they're literally teaching a class about this guy,
Right.
and he's super cool with him being there to watch that
From
and
the
it
past.
affecting his future. It's like,
Yeah.
At least
That
that
was
was a
that-
good excuse later.
What was that Annie Hall? Remember where they would argue about Marshall McLuhan? He's like, well, I happen to have him right here, and he pulls him out. It's
Yeah,
like, hey, class, we're talking about Superboy. Oh, here's the real Superboy. Oh, hey, Superboy. It's like, oh, okay, how are you here? Like, what is happening?
I don't know.
Okay, so
how
this
I'm here.
robot. So I don't understand. Like, this robot can lift 100 tons. It's like, okay, to show what Superboy could do.
Look how little 100 tons can be in the future. Like a little
I know.
box. How does it even not break through the stage that it was sitting on? But I don't know.
Yeah.
What?
That's a
Yeah,
super
who brought it
strong
in?
ground right there, boy.
Like, who brought it into the classroom? Like, that's.
Oh man, the fun of silly old comics. I'm just
So here he's like, wow, the teacher has a Superboy robot. Cool.
yes. I'm glad you can lift that 100 tons with one hand with no problem. Unlike certain later iterations of you that get punched out by like little girls with electric powers and stuff.
Oh my god, I almost bought that issue.
Bruce
I
Timm.
had that in my hand. With
The one with the girl punching him?
Yeah, I had
that's
that in
the
my
one-
hand.
That's Mark D's first comic ever, his first superhero comic ever. We talked about it.
Oh,
You should get that. That's actually a pretty decent story. That's a fun story when you find out who the little girl is.
Oh my god, I had it in my hand yesterday at the
like it.
shop. I
oh
put
yeah,
it
at the shop, yeah.
at the shop, I had it in my hand.
Was it
I thought
Oh,
this was
expensive?
really fun.
When you find
I
out who
think
the
it-
little girl is, it's kind of a good twist.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit much. So I was like, I'm
I
gonna wait
tossed
for the
some of
show.
those back because they were a bit too much, and I was like, I could get
How
this
much
for
was
$20.
that one?
I think it was like maybe 15 or 20 bucks.
Oh, well, there's a reason.
Yeah. Oh, is that why? Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So maybe that's
In
why.
a sense, yeah. I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
a dumb reason, maybe, but a reason.
Right. Okay. So I mean that nobody.
Go read it online. Just
Yeah.
No
And
one's
the-
getting it. You can just go back now.
I can go back. Steve lives 2 minutes from that place, so
talk
he
them
can get
down on it.
anytime.
I'll talk them down on it, but yeah, go read it online. You'll see what I mean.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Okay.
Mark and I,
Um,
Mark's first, we talked about it on the show a couple times. He showed, we looked, I think we sort of reviewed it in a way, but yeah, when you get to the ending, yeah, but it's, but it was his first superhero comic.
Awesome. Wow, that is crazy though. I will get it for sure, and then I'll show it.
Adventure
I got
Comics, something or other, whatever number.
it. Yeah, I don't remember. They have a lot. The problem is that shop is okay, it's like they just took a bunch of comics and just shoved them in boxes, and it's like, who cares? That's why
Yeah.
no one ever goes through it.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
And the people that were there, the shop was filled, but it was all people playing like Warhammer or something.
Tabletop and yeah.
Tabletop,
Yeah.
right? So they weren't even looking at comics. So Sean and I were like walking around them, trying to get through these
And there's
issues.
some fun stuff in there, but like, you really have to J-Man was like, we gotta come here for a day and just go through this stuff.
Right.
Because
None of
the
it's
thing is, no one's
alphabetized,
doing it. And you're gonna
Yeah.
find gems in there. It's crazy.
Right. They had Star Wars issue 1 for $70.
Yeah, I was stunned. I was like, it was a bit too much for me.
In a box?
Just a
Yeah,
random.
it was in a long box.
Wow.
No, it's just so random. No, dude, it's so random. I'm like,
Yeah.
I told Sean, I was like, you got to come to the shop before we go to Steve's place and stop off because it's so random. You wouldn't know there's anything there. Like, I'm like, yeah, I said, you got to come here first, then you go in the back later. It's just like so, because they don't, they're just like, oh, no, they shove it in there.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
They don't know what they have. Yeah. Anyway.
So, anyway.
We won't say where it is. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying where it is. Before I wouldn't tell. Sean told me, okay, so before we went, Sean was asking, is it this comic shop? And it wasn't. And I said, I'll tell you where it is if you don't buy any Superboy issues when we go there. So yeah, he had to promise me.
Yeah.
He had to promise me to not buy any Superboy stuff. And I said, okay, if you promise not to buy any Superboy comics, I'll tell you where it is.
Yeah.
Listen, it's a cutthroat business here. We got. It's like, don't mess with the S.
Yeah.
Don't mess with you.
Oh God. All right. Okay. So I can't see a Superboy. Okay. So the robot gets messed up, and they're basically like, "Oh, we can't show how he did the X-ray vision to melt steel." So it's like, "Well, here's the real Superboy."
Let the real guy do it. Yes, because he doesn't work all of a sudden for no particular reason. Okay.
Right. So it's like, how fortunate. How fortunate we have the real Superboy. He's like, oh, okay. And he goes, they're going to fall behind. What, they're going to fall behind because they didn't see one demonstration of how X-ray vision works? Like, yeah, okay.
So silly.
I love how he's like in the corner here. He's like, hey.
There's
It's
the
like
superhero club.
Hey.
There's Fortress Lad, the superhero club.
There it is, superhero club.
Good old Fortress Lad. Poor old
it's
Fortress
like,
Lad.
Yeah, so this is obviously all this is gets changed or whatever. So okay,
yeah.
This is really the main thing right here. They're gonna accept Superman. So we see other guys here. I guess there's no way of knowing who these people are, right?
Yeah.
The Legion of 3 heroes. Oh, there are 3 more. The Legion of 6 heroes.
And then this guy, does this guy count? He's
Legion of 7. Wow.
7. So yeah, I guess that's.
I mean, yeah, they just didn't feel like making up some more. I mean, that's just fine. They never, I'm not sure they thought they would ever be doing them again. It was probably more things I've read about things that Otto Binder said, and even that it was mostly a one-off story. But Al Plastino, and people like that have said things like that. That who knew it would be popular, I guess.
Yeah, so they probably thought, well, whatever, we just have these 3 and that's it.
They show more later on, but anyway, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they do say Legion again at the meeting of the Legion of Superheroes. So again,
there you go.
Mention it there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, so Superboy, each of us. So one of the things with the Legion, I don't know if this is super firm, but you're supposed to have just one ability. Is that right, or can they have multiple?
Usually, yeah. Obviously, Superboy's the exception. You're supposed to have one power, and everyone has to be. In other words, they don't usually like to double up on powers. Like 2 people that can do the same thing. They became a deal with the Charter later. At this point. No, but the big deal was, hey, we only have 1 power each, but we're better than you, super past boy.
Right. So he's thinking, oh, this will be easy, right? Like I've got past these tests.
Yeah.
So now the next bit is all a series of tests, where where he's gonna compete against one of the 3 guys that one of the 3 people that we've seen.
Right.
So he goes, okay, so they've got their television trouble finder, I guess. Sure.
I love the television trouble finder.
Yeah, like who's filming this right here?
The trouble alert from Super Friends. Yeah.
It's reality TV.
Yeah, right, exactly. So okay, so now they're going to compete. So the first one's going to be what? Saturn Girl, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
With a rocket pack.
Okay, so she's got the rocket pack. So flying is not a power. It's through their technology, so it doesn't count as her power. So her power is really mind, is like using her mind, right? So this is weird. Like
pretty much. Messing with people's minds, mind control,
right?
Telepathy, they don't really have. She doesn't have a. I don't think she's from Titan as far yet. I mean, that'll be later.
Right. Okay. Okay. So they fly off. Now she flies off over here, and then Superboy kind of takes a look and sees that this robot, so this is the robot version of him earlier, is like, running off and saying, oh, it's worth $1 million. It's like, oh my God. It's like, so then
For the
he
$1
has
million.
yeah. So instead of going off to do the contest, he stays behind and is like, he's like, oh, I can't hold this back. It's like, I don't want to smash it. He goes, it'll explode, whatever. So like, this is the weirdest. I mean,
weird.
This is so weird. I don't know what to even say. Like, okay, so he drills through. Remember in like Superman in part 1 where he like drills through the ground. He basically goes through the ground and then comes up this way into the school, and the robot
to a scientist.
Yeah, and like inexplicably follows him. Like, I'm not sure like what's going on there. Just follows them. And then it's like, okay, you're here. And then he deactivates the robot.
This science professor will know how to stop the robot after I explain it's a runaway.
Right.
The nuclear ray will short circuit the motor.
Right.
So there you go, nuclear ray.
There is I mean, okay, so at this point, if we were treating this as a Bob Haney,
it's very Bob Haney, yeah.
Yeah, we would be like, this is weird, but there will be an explanation for it.
True enough, it's still a little bonkers, but sure.
Yeah, it's still a bit weird. Like, couldn't he have deactivated that here? Like, I understand what happens later on where they explain why this happened, but like, why wouldn't he just use this?
The professor is the one yelling that it's a mock, right?
Right.
So yeah. So why wouldn't, if the professor can do it, just do it?
Why not him? Yeah, exactly. It's a good point.
Yeah, like
he had to go find another science professor.
Yeah. I fixed the robot, but something went
science
wrong.
Professor, here you go. Thank you, science professor.
Do science, yeah.
Do science.
Do some science here for me.
All right. So Superboy he's like, oh crap, I got to get out of here. All right. So then in the meantime here, but meanwhile, Saturn Girl is using her wits. So I guess this is just to show, like, now she's got lightning, I guess, but whatever.
It's to show her telepathy or whatever.
It's just showing her.
She tells this, she becomes Aquaman.
Right.
And orders this sea beast to lift the statue thingy.
Right. So this creature thing, I you know what? I like this. I like how they incorporated like her command within her stream of power. So that's cool. Like, I don't know. There's like some really cool, like there's still cool stuff going on.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, this is really neat. Like, I don't think I've seen this too often. Like, where it's like, normally they just, touch their head or whatever and say, I'm going, like Jean Grey would be like, and then there'd be like a little bubbly thing.
Yeah.
Like dee, and then she'd be like, oh, I'm doing, or what's his face? Aquaman has the circles or something. Like, I like this, like just saying what it is in here. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So the creature does the thing, and she's like, oh, it's too late, Superboy. I got the statue. You can be a gentleman if you want and carry it for me. It's like, okay. It's Godzilla, yeah. What happens if he meets his great granddaughter? Well, actually, Superman, I just read one where Superboy does meet a descendant, and she's pretty attractive, and I bloody hell just read that. Is she just Kent? The other? Oh,
are you talking about the Laurel Kent one?
Yes, Laurel Kent.
Oh God, I love her.
Yes, that's exactly. I just read that.
Oh my!
On the weekend. That is so crazy. That is so weird, Pat, that you mentioned that. That is so crazy. That's such a weird coincidence. Yeah, she was cute, right? He was like, Superboy's like, oh, she's looking pretty good. I was like, oh yeah, she is cute. And then it's like, hey, wait a minute. The whole thing is that she looks like Lois Lane. That's the It's like she looks like Lois Lane. Okay, anyways. So Superboy's carrying it fine. So they come back and they're like, well, that was a fail. And he's like, so now Superboy could just say, hey, like, I had to go stop that robot. But, he doesn't. So I like that. He's like, look, I'm not going to make some lame excuse. I'll take the loss. I'm not someone on Twitter who needs to, apologize for everything or whatever.
Yeah.
There's no Twitter.
How humble he is here, man. It's a real Superman or Superboy,
So, say that again, Sean.
No, I like how humble he is here.
Right.
It's like that's the real Superboy. He was always that. He didn't have to learn it.
Oh no!
Anyway.
Don't mention the MOS.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, I'm not. He goes, it'll sound like a weak alibi, and I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Trouble Finder. Now I don't know when this started. Like it's like all the, how did they know which one to go to first? But
the Trouble Finder is showing us something else.
So now this.
Trouble.
So.
Oh shit!
All right. So this thing's crashing. So now he's competing against Cosmic Boy.
Yep.
And so Superboy's like, "Oh, I'll just simply blow out the flyer."
Magnetic eyes.
And his power of super magnetism, not regular magnetism.
No, just super.
This is super magnetism. Yeah, don't listen. I got it's super magnetism. And then he's like, and then oh no, that Earth. Okay, so that Earth satellite is falling from its orbit. It might hit the city below like a flaming meteor. Now hold on a second. Why did the Trouble Finder not detect this thing? Like, would be considered? I know why.
Yeah,
we know why. Spoilers, but it's just a bit weird. You're like, okay, like this seems more important, but there is a reason. This isn't Bob Haney. There is a reason.
Right. The reason it's not Bob Haney completely.
Yeah, it's not, yeah.
More conscientious editing, at least.
Right. So, and I will say that the reason they give, and then because after they give a reason, you're like, well, wait a minute, what if this thing really did hit? Then they've got even that covered, because then they say, no, we would have, right? So I like that.
Always, yeah, sure, buddy. Yeah.
It would have happened, Sean. The Cosmic Boy can do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So he catches this thing. I love this shot put right back.
Yeah.
He shot puts it into a volcano. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then he's using his magnetic eyes, which gets completely changed.
Eventually, yeah.
Eventually. Oh, so he still has got the magnetic eyes in the next appearance?
It takes a while. I mean, none of these characters are without going too deep into it yet, because we'll do it in the none of these characters in this one are really, they're mostly a name only, in the sense that they obviously, like all characters, they go through a lot of changes along the way.
Yeah, well, I mean, Superman is, Action Comics 1 is going to be public domain in 9 years or something, or whatever it was.
Still 9 years?
Yeah.
Something like that.
There.
Yeah. So, but Action Comics #1 doesn't have anything. It's like just
he
Superman
jumps and he
jumps high or far,
and it's not even all his issue. So
and I don't think you even have who do you even have? You won't have Jimmy. You won't have Lois. I don't think you'll have Perry White.
Ultra Humanite isn't even in it. No, it's later on.
Not in Action #1, no. But yeah, this is a lot of things. They start out and no one knows they're going to be popular. I guess this was popular, this issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is all based from snail mail. You have to write in and say we love these characters, because that's why they're always behind on stuff. If this came out, if there was Twitter back then, and it wasn't everyone just being dicks, they'd be like, oh, this is great, and then they could get instantaneous that's why it's weird now with movies and TV shows where they're getting instantaneous feedback, but they don't course correct. These guys, if they got instantaneous feedback saying, hey, Legion is great, shit, I'll put the Legion right in the next issue, right? Okay, let's get them
give them their own comic.
Give them their own comic, right? All these kids love them.
Look how long it took them to get their own comic, but anyway.
Yeah, that was a long trek. I also bought that Club. This, and Sean knows. I bought that back issue with Superboy and Red, all the stuff for that. So that was a great issue of back issue. I just bought the digital one. My comic shop's
back issue, yeah.
Yeah, my comic shop gets back issue. He ordered a second copy. He only orders 1 or 2 copies because there's nobody who wants
buys them.
Yeah.
But he's ordering me one anyways. So I thought, you know what? Let me just get the digital. It's $5 or something. I'll just get digital.
That's the one thing I never missed an issue. Never will. That one and Kirby Collector.
Yeah, Kirby Collector looks really good too. Actually, that Tomorrow's has like a lot of good ones. I might get that Superman movie one, the one where it was about the movie.
Issue a back issue. Oh yeah, that's
back
a great
issue.
one.
Yeah, where it
You
was
can
the
get that
spring
one. I don't
movie.
know. Is it
I get
still out there?
retro magazine as well. I like that.
That's a good mag. Oh yeah, I've got a bunch of those.
Mm.
But I wait for those to come later. I wait for them to go down a little bit. But they got a couple issues that I want that have come out recently. Yeah, it's you know.
You got to be careful with the Tomorrows because they will go out of print if you want a physical copy. So you have to.
Oh yeah, I get those. They wait a while before they finally go out of print. But yeah, there's some they have some that will eventually go out of print that you have to find somewhere else. But
yeah,
I always get the physical because you get the digital for free.
Yeah. So my comic shop ordered the physical, so I'll get it from them. So I won't get a digital with it. Anyways, I was like, I didn't want to wait, so I was like, I'll just get the.
I don't mind.
Who cares?
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
All right. So obviously Cosmic Boy TCBs takes care of business here. And he's like, oh, the lake overflowed and flooded the forest, putting out the fire. Where were you, Superboy? Ha ha ha. And you're like, or ha ha.
Superboy, you useless twerp.
Yeah.
You suck, man. You 20th century guys are garbage. Man, what's wrong
basically,
with you?
if I'm a kid reading this, my interpretation of this dialogue would be like, yeah, Superboy, you're trash. Why aren't you doing anything cool?
If I'm a kid reading this, I'm getting pissed off. I'm like, wait, man, I love Superboy. I don't know who you are, you little twerp.
Yeah, who are you a-holes? And then he's like, well, I'm not going to tell how I literally just saved the damn city from a falling satellite.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you that I just smoked your ass, but okay. You little future twerp.
All right. So as though we can't remember from like what 2 pages, we have to have like a little bit of an update here. So winner, Saturn Girl, loser, Super. And as a kid, did Superboy lose that first one? I don't remember. That was only 1 page ago. Like, winner, Cosmic Boy, loser, Superboy. I love how they have to write loser, Superboy, as though there's only 2 people. There's only 2 people competing.
Yeah.
Hey, it was brutal times. They were mean back then, man. It's the 50s.
Yeah, it's like there's only 2 people in this. You don't need to write it down.
You're not doing so good, Superboy. You're a loser. I bet you'd have a small. You know what?
I would rather insult fan. Oh no, I know. Yeah. It's completely different. My wife reads manga and a couple of new mangas started. It's completely different when you read manga because like the creators, like there's one mangaka is what it's called, who's his stories, I think he did like 3 or 4 chapters and it got canceled. And he literally went to Twitter and apologized for his comic not being up to the standards of the fans and promises his next one will be better. When the hell have you ever heard of this ever happening? Ever?
Not that I can think
ever.
Of any time recent, ever, if ever. Yeah.
He's like, I'm sorry you didn't like this. I will try better on the next
one. Well, it's called responsibility, and it's something that's kind of dead now. It's like oh, this film must be everyone else's fault. Then it's like, well, you made the thing.
Right. Right. Yeah. I was trying to get her to see if she could go back and clip that because I wanted to share that and be like, here's what a real man or whatever. Here's what a real person does. It's like,
here's what a
real artist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so Superboy's facial expression here. Steve's like his face. He's like just like, damn it, what the hell, like,
Yeah, for Lightning Boy.
Boy. All right, so now we go. Yeah, no, Lightning Boy, not Lightning Lad. I did put that. I put Lightning Lad in the poll.
Yeah,
just because that's the name I know.
That's the real name. Yeah.
All right, so they didn't go to the TV, the Trouble thingy.
No, they forgot.
They just kind of flew.
The Invisible Eagle. Has escaped. How do you know? Well,
so I guess something busted out of here or whatever.
It might get into the engine of a plane or something. So they got Superboy's got.
Yeah.
Right, because they won't be able to see it or whatever. So so Superboy. Okay, so holy crap, right? We gotta get this.
I would think Superboy could see it anyway with his X-ray vision and his
would he be
vision.
able to? Yeah,
I would have thought, but it would be inconvenient for the story.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's not as visual as him like carrying a mountain. So yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Look how cool this is. Yeah. Okay. Hold on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Gosh, I love Gosh.
Let me drop this off something.
That's great.
Gosh,
I love all that
darn
stuff. I've been reading some old Mary Marvel issues as well, and they've
It's
got
like
all that.
it's like the old EC comics, like choke, gasp, like they said
Oh my
that.
God, choke.
Yeah.
Oh, choke. Yeah, I love that.
Choke,
Gasp.
yeah,
Oh my God,
gasp.
choke.
Yeah.
Right, so this is like, okay, this is like the weirdest thing here, but like, okay, so like, I love this idea. I'll pick up an iceberg at sea. Okay, cool.
Then what? Then drop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I hope I don't hit anything with it.
Okay, this will cool the air for miles around. My plan should work before the city suffers too much discomfort from the cold. Like, I mean, this is so weird.
What?
I don't know what is happening here.
But what does he do with it after that?
I
They don't show that.
I don't get what's going on. Yeah, Sean.
Maybe.
Sorry, did you?
But the bird then frosts over and he can see the frost.
And then he just, I guess, tossed it out. But instead, he just tossed it back out to sea. He hurls it out to sea.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man.
And he
Okay,
causes
he's gonna
tsunami. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it worked. Okay.
Yeah.
It formed on the eagle. Okay, making it visible. I can return it. Okay. I mean, this is so weird. Like, I don't know.
He just
Like,
saved like
it is
innocent planes or whatever. So I guess.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So my hands are like the positive and negative poles of a battery. Each time I clap them together, a super lightning flash leaps forth. Okay. So is that I guess that's changed. He doesn't really need to do that.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
As lightning.
I don't know. It's just Lightning Boy with this. This is like a lightning clap or whatever.
Yeah, and he basically claps out this message, which I actually thought was kind of cool.
In space, yeah.
Oh, I know. Express. Your fuel tank is leaking. Return for repairs. Wow.
Yeah, I'm thinking that I probably
I'm glad they couldn't contact them by the radio or anything.
Yeah. Or maybe use less words. Like,
yeah.
Like it's like it's in Canada, we have like when we're driving, we have like a digital thing on the highway, and it'll say like they'll have random messages. Like it says most accidents are caused by drivers not paying attention. So whenever I'm driving with a passenger, I'll be like, most accidents are caused by drivers not smash. I'm not paying attention because I'm reading the damn thing that you put up here. Like it's just
this message is 57 characters. It's like it's way too damn much.
This is too wordy.
It's a tweet.
Just say Nova Express fuel tank leaking, like and then they're gonna know they're going to return. Like
you figure they'd be like, I guess we should return for repairs. Like you don't need to say.
I could just imagine they're like, but what do we do? Oh crap! I better clap out some more. Return for repairs. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Have a nice day. Like.
Yes, he should have said, I love ahoy. Like, is there anyone else?
Well, he has to greet them,
Yeah, hello.
Decorum, man. Anyway.
Oh my God, this is awesome. It is. Look, if it wasn't that silly, it could still be pretty. It's still a neat idea. Like, somebody came up with that. It's like Super Friends, where you're like, they came up with the weirdest ways to save stuff. You're just like, this is like, I saw one where Superman cut the moon in half.
Yeah, I was gonna say the one where he cuts the moon in half, then freezes it so that it can reflect the sun's rays. And even as a kid, I was like, doesn't the sun's rays go to Earth anyways? I don't. What is happening? Yeah,
I don't know what that was. That was awesome.
Well, the time when the Flash had to run around the planet with the longest cable in history. And 6 times or whatever, and somehow that moved the planet.
You don't question it, It's like,
right, and it's like, those are great. Sean has everything too, right? We both have the whole collection of everything.
The whole thing, yeah.
All right, awesome. Okay, so here he comes back, and it's like, yep, you're rejected from the Legion of Superheroes. So they do say it. Okay, they do say it.
Yeah, they say it.
All right. He's like, but I still want to try I won't try my alibi. I'll take it with a smile. That's great.
Oh, he's the real Superboy.
That's
awesome.
Boy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Still Superboy.
And he's like,
They're not
well,
alibis though. They really are legit. I mean, it's not like he's making shit up either. Though I'm like,
No.
look, okay, guys, whatever, man. I was just, I mean, I guess he doesn't want to look bad, but
Yeah.
This isn't like my
up either.
Yeah, like this isn't my dog ate my homework kind of thing.
No,
this is like the guy's legit.
I saved the planet
They're
3
just
times
a-holes.
today. Like, yeah.
They're just being a-holes. It's like,
Yeah.
just for the fun of it, because they're hazing him, which is fine. I mean, it's just kind of funny. But as a kid, when you're reading this in 1958, you're like, this guy's a jerkweeds.
Yeah.
Look at this.
But
Man, they
people
made
like
him
him, I
cry.
guess.
F these people.
They made
Yeah.
Superboy cry. I don't like these people.
Yeah.
How they
Screw
get
you.
how were they so popular after this comic? It's almost like they were villains.
Yeah. So they're like, oh man, I want to be in the Super
Superheroes.
Club. What the shit?
What? You make the guy cry, man.
And then it's like, wait, Superboy, come back. What?
I like how he's thinking. How will I tell them back in Smallville? Well, you shouldn't be telling them.
Oh, don't tell him anything.
Yeah,
Well,
don't say
where's that
anything.
supposed to be?
Yeah.
Why would you? All right.
Don't say a goddamn thing. Remember Sam Jackson? Pulp
I
Fiction?
am asking you a goddamn thing.
Oh, God. Okay, but I don't understand. I've been rejected. No, you're a member, Superboy. We gave you a bad time only as your initiation. We deliberately decoyed you elsewhere during each contest. For instance, when you and I were first raced away on our job, and then here's the flashbacks.
I beamed the telepathic command into the electronic brain so she can manipulate the minds of robots, which don't have minds.
Which is weird.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So telepathy works on a robot.
Good to know. Good to know. I can use mine then. And then Cosmic Boy says, "I use my magnetic eyes
yes,
to bring down a satellite, but only into the ocean." You know.
Right.
It's not an expensive satellite.
You're so stupid. You won't catch it. You won't catch on, Superboy.
Yeah.
Right. And then here's the clap. He smashed this thing.
I clap lightning. He claps his lightning.
He's like, "Oh, Saturn Girl could take care of it," you know.
Lightning Lad, what a punk. He wasn't even prepared to fix his own thing. He's like, Saturn Girl can do it.
Now, I want to point out something with this next panel so that you see more of the Legion here, right?
Right. So
yes, you see other people.
Now, you see the guy second from the right,
purple,
that guy there. I have this thing. It's a reprint. It's one that's a Silver Age.
I know what it is.
Yeah, it's an omnibus.
In that same panel, they color him green on purpose.
I'll make you full screen. Wait a second, Sean.
Yeah, they color him green on purpose to make him look like
Brainiac.
To make him look like Brainiac, but that's clearly not their intention here.
No, it's retconning. That's definitely
they
not
retconned
Brainiac
it in this
5.
thing, to color him that way.
God,
but...
I did not know that. I don't have that. I have like archive. I'd have to check my Legion archives if they did that on that one.
Yeah.
Now I want to go check my Legion archives and hope they didn't screw with it.
Because I was looking at it, I was like, this character wasn't there in that time. I don't think so. And they did that in this reprint just to say, hey, here's more Legion guys, right?
What I hate
when they do that. Just do it the way it was as best as possible,
Like I'm looking at the Marvel Masterworks reprinted the first Galactus story, the very first Fantastic Four Marvel Masterworks, and they painted clothes on him. In other words, as silly as it might be, in the original issues, I guess it was summertime on Earth.
Yeah. Wow. No pants.
Had shorts.
Yeah, shorts. I remember that. And I remember they painted it.
And they totally just was like, why are you doing this? Don't just leave it alone, man. Why?
Yeah.
I mean, okay, it doesn't look as good as it did later when they gave him a normal, but still. Mm-hmm. And then recolored his colors too. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, there's so many things that we find with doing these, and it turns me off of these reprints because I used to think, these reprints are pretty cool, but like, what is the point of changing that? Like,
did they do it to anyone else or just Brainiac 5?
Just Brainiac 5, as far as I can see.
Yeah, because if you look closely at this guy, he has like a configurated shirt, kind of like Cosmic Boy, right, with the dots and stuff, but I can't really tell, like, and then there's this orange guy back here, and then there's a guy in the front here.
one behind him we might be able to say he's Monel, but I don't think so because he comes along later. So not, but I'm just saying as far as the way he looks with the red shirt, but he's not. And a couple of the other dudes, the other guy from the back, that could be Colossal Boy or anybody like that, probably. I don't know. But yeah, the one there that they turned into Brainiac 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's so weird.
He's not Brainiac. It's just terrible.
Yeah.
All right. So then they're like, oh, we got a new member. I don't know what he's going to do because in this point, he's not going to stay in the future. So I know we know he's coming back a bunch of times, but it's just weird.
South Pole City. I like that.
Yeah. And then, okay, so this is really good. Superboy kind of like, in one page is able to kind of pay them back a little bit.
Yeah, but he uses all their powers.
Right. That's the point of it, right?
Yeah.
So
that's cool. This is a neat little story, though. I mean, yeah.
So this thing's toppling. He uses the magnetic stuff. He uses the lightning and all that. And then it's like, gosh, you read my mind. How did I get it? Your little joke with us too. And it's like, you use magnetism, lightning, and mind reading trick to duplicate our powers. It's like, so that's pretty good.
You read her mind though?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
not sure.
I think you're just saying why. I bet you're wondering why I simply didn't shove the tower straight up with my super strength. So that's what he read her mind, because she was thinking that, like, oh, why didn't you use your super strength? It's like, I read your mind. This is what I thought you would think.
Yeah.
And then he shows. He shows the dad. Come on, that's cool.
But Dad, I'm a member of the superhero club in the future.
Yeah.
Well, son, that's great. What do you mean?
Yeah. What the hell did you do this afternoon?
What'd you do in the future?
Did you study? Did you do your studies?
The future, where we are going to spend the rest of our lives. Come on, you've all seen Deadwood. Come on.
Yes. I was just, we was telling, we got to get the, what was the thing? I'll send him the F up. When Wong, or is it Wong, or what's the guy's name?
Well, I think it is Wong, right? No.
What's the Asian guy's name in Deadwood again? It is Wong, isn't it?
Mr. Wong?
Yeah, where he comes in the front entrance, the guy, and Dan's like, oh, he said he came in through the front. And he's like, should I tell him to go in through the back? And Swearingen's like, send him the F up. Like, what's the point of sending him back around and going out? Send him back out, just come back in the other way.
Yeah.
That's the point. He's in here now. Oh man, that's too funny. All right, so that's
ads. Yay, so Kirby challenges
the unknown. Yeah, house.
They had some of these at that same shop.
Yeah. Expensive.
Yay.
Little Pete
and some other stuff. Adventure Comics had a few other things in there.
Yeah.
They have a Green Arrow story with about George Papp or somebody, and then they got
So I didn't read this. The Aquaman one looked kind of neat.
Yeah, Romana Fraden.
Yeah, Romana Fraden. Oh, and more. Yeah, these one-page cartoonish things that they used to do.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
you got some for your 12 cents. Your 10 cents. You got a 12 at this point. I mean 10 at this point. Sorry, you got some bang for your buck right there.
Yeah,
you got 3 stories and a bunch of other stuff in it.
Yeah.
Well, Green Arrow, Aquaman, Superboy, that's awesome. Like I love all 3 of those characters. I had a whole entire Aquaman collection going for a while. And Aquaman's one of my tattoos that I have. So it's like I like all this. This would be like Adventure Comics is pretty good.
Oh God, yeah.
I think that says at the end there. Yeah.
There's some back ads. Yay. Cool.
So
stuff,
that is it.
A worthwhile mag.
Yeah, that was all
giving us the beginning of our beloved Legion of Superheroes. Many, many, many fine adventures to go, but it'll take them a while, and as far as the appearances are concerned, to start refining them and start changing them around a lot. I have the earliest appearance of the team that I own. I have not a great copy, but a so-so copy of Adventure Comics 300.
Wow.
Okay.
I can't at the moment remember which appearance it is. I'll say what as far as which number it is of their appearances.
So let me see adventure. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13. 12, 13.
I
No,
don't
no, no, no,
know.
no, 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 no,
no,
no,
no.
no. Sorry, it
No,
might
it's
be
pretty
this.
close to the beginning.
It might be because they appeared in Adventure 293, then Action and Superman. So it might be like the
Let me
13th
see.
appearance or something. Does that sound right?
Again, I can't remember, to be honest with you. I mean, I couldn't even speculate at this point, but I can try to track it down. I'm gonna try to, but it's still. Let's see, because I just read up to like their 4th appearance or so in Superboy 86. I got up to that one. I haven't read that one yet. And so, what's their next one after that? Is Adventure 282.
282.
Yeah, and then of course,
And
it's
then-
a good thing you can track it with this.
Yeah, the DC track. So the one I was looking at missed that at one Action Comics appearance, but and then it looks like then it was Superboy 86, Adventure 282, Action 276, Superman 147, Adventure 290.
It keeps going between Adventure and Action and
Yeah.
Superboy, I think, for a while there.
Yeah, so Adventure 223 was their whatever number appearance.
Hell, even in Superman 140, I'm looking. I mean, yeah. So it's a good while.
Yeah.
So it didn't have a steady run until eventually they started putting it in. I think in either Action Comics for a while, and then Superboy. Actually, no, an Adventure for a while, then Action later, then Superboy.
Yeah. And Adventure made these digests as well. It says like 2 Legion stories every issue. Like
Yeah,
Oh,
that was toward around 490 something of Adventure Comics. It ended. It went into it when it changed.
I'll be back in a second.
Okay.
Yep.
I was telling Jay this earlier. It ended and it changed into the digest format.
Right.
And I remember buying. Of course, I was buying. I wouldn't buy an Adventure that often, but when they did that, and it was reprinting them, the appearances from Order, I think.
Oh,
They said they were. It was.
Yeah.
There was a reprints, and I remember buying all of. They went from 491, I think, or was it 92 to 503, and then stopped digest. But I have all those.
Yeah, they're
I was
fun.
really liking that.
They're a lot of fun. I like
digest.
digest anyways, so yeah.
I have a pretty big digest collection. I'm only missing a few.
Yeah.
As far as the DC digest,
the DC
I love
stuff
them.
here. Yeah.
All right. I went to go grab these so I could show you guys. So I've got the 2 here. Hold on, I'll make myself full screen and then you can tell me what these. So I got this one.
Yes, that is reprint.
This is a reprint, right?
That's reprint, yeah.
I love that Grell wraparound cover. Did you ever see the Alex Ross version of this cover? It was for Back Issue Magazine.
Yes, I did see that. Yeah,
61, I think, or whatever. That's a great, beautiful Mike Grell cover.
Here, I can put him flying. I can replicate this.
Oh Lord!
And then this is the other one I got.
Yeah,
now that is that's a new story. It was had unfortunately it was inked by Vinny Coletta. That really hurts it, but still Grell at least. And if you look at that on that front of that cover, if I were showing you mine, I would have to give you a microscope to show you where I got Grell to sign it for like $2 at a con. And he just like scribbled on there. I'm like, man, I can't even. I have to look hard to find the damn thing.
Oh.
Later, I met him and a friend. He's good. He's mutual friends with a buddy of mine with a shop down here, and he came and we got to hang out with him more to signing. But I was like, man, I was a little disappointed. I'm like, dude, really? That's okay. I didn't say anything, but I'm like,
right.
Yeah,
that's always
on my damn.
Sean
and
gave
Black
me
marks a lot too. Greatness.
Yeah.
Great. That's again.
Right.
Reprint.
Did you have a double of this, Sean? Did you have a double?
Yeah, I have a double. That's why I gave that to you.
Yeah, so Sean gave me that one.
A John Buscema cover.
That's
that's
pretty good.
I have a pretty big Treasury and tabloid collection. I don't think I have that one, but I don't know if you know, Jay. About a year or two ago, I had a buddy of mine had on a Saturday night before we started doing Saturday Star Trek, and he just came on and showed me. He has almost. I think he said. I think he says almost. He probably has every single Treasury tabloid done, and I don't just mean by Marvel and DC too, because how many have been done really back then?
Wow.
All the big, and he's got them all, and he showed them. And I have compared to mine. I mean, I have most of the Marvel ones and most of the DC ones, but he's got everything.
Wow.
You mean like even like Wizard of Oz and stuff, or like
all of it, all of it,
wow.
and all the other companies too, not just Marvel and DC. And there's a lot of trade into a lot of big comics.
Yeah, we saw. There's that one guy that where Sean and I go who's got those, but they're like in the 100. I just saw. Yeah, who's the guy? I don't. Is it Aaron? Is it is it Aaron Myers? Who's the guy on our Twitter? He always posts like, pick this up for like $1 or pick this up for whatever. Guy picks it up.
Yeah,
And he's like,
that guy too.
Yeah, I don't know who that guy is. And it's like, he literally like, and he's like, $10 pickup. And I'm like, what? $10? Like, where are you shopping?
It's
like,
people that don't know what they're selling, right? But like, I have a lot of this stuff that like I bought my treasuries and the tabloid size stuff, like of the main stuff, like Superman versus Muhammad Ali and stuff like that, right at the right time. Because now all that stuff is in the hundreds, and I bought them for like maybe 50 each and 75, and I was like, oh, I'm paying too much, and now it's like 200. It's like Batman versus Hulk is like a lot now.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
I had to eventually start, but when they were first coming out, whatever I could possibly, when I wasn't obviously if you're at a 7-Eleven, it's just a spinner. But when we go to the magazine rack at the when my grandmother brings us to the K&B, the drugstore, that you could come upon a the treasury here and there, the tabloid here and there. But so I was missing a lot of them when they first came out, and then when I got old enough to go to cons in the early 80s, we started going to cons and other shops in other cities for the most part, or people would bring them into our shop. I started collecting them then when you could grab them for $2 and $3 a pop. Your highest one would still be $4 or $5, no one wanted them, no one cared. And so I was able to get almost all the ones I needed at that point. Then it came into the 90s when they started going up a little bit. I really didn't need that many. I'll grab one once in a while. Then I just figured I got them all the ones I need. Once in a while, if I would spot one, all of a sudden, when you get into the 21st century, they started just going up ridiculously high now.
Hundreds now. I mean, like, I think that Superman Spider-Man was like $350 or something. Like,
and Superman Muhammad Ali is worse.
Yeah, I'm glad I have those, like both of them. But J-Man, you need that the Star Trek the Motion Picture one. It's incredible, and it has this whole glossary of terms at the end. It's funny.
I love Star Trek the Motion Picture.
Yeah.
Well, there's two of us that love that movie on here. There's one of us that doesn't love that movie. And and the person who doesn't love the movie is the one in the middle.
I love. There's no treasury edition of that though, so you're good. There's a magazine though.
It's a tabloid sized one, right? It's I have
a magazine size Marvel Super Special. Yeah.
Okay, and I thought it was like a tabloid size one. I guess not. Yeah.
No, there's no tabloid of Star Trek one. It's of course the Star Wars and it's Close Encounters. But you should get the Marvel Super Special. But even if you don't want to spend the money on that, and that was they did it about 3-4 years ago. They did a reproduction of the Marvel Super Special, the motion picture adaptation. Wow. But that was kind of my that was what kind of got me into Star Trek. Believe it or not, at that point, I didn't get to see it much as a kid into the late 70s, and all of a sudden, Marvel started running ads for Star Trek: The Motion Picture. I'd seen the show a little bit, right? It was on the back of comics. Well, then Marvel Super Special number was it 15 or 16, whatever came out, and I bought this thing right here. Great Bob Larkin cover, interior by Dave Cockerman, Klaus Janson. And before the movie came out, I just wore that sucker out. Of course, went to see the movie. And then they started finally bringing the show back here. And that's how I got into Star Trek as a show. So, and I love the art in there by Dave Cockerman and stuff. And yes, I think you showed a picture of, there's a cover. There's a reproduction. It's a real nice reproduction.
Must be this.
That might be it right there. Either way, but if you can get the original, obviously, but the reproduction is pretty nice too. And it's the magazine format, Marvel Super Special. That was where they started putting all their movie adaptations. Man, remember those days? Every movie that came out
had a cool adaptation. Yeah.
There's Star-Lord. I remember that one. But later, after the motion picture, there were almost always movie adaptations.
Yeah.
And then they also broke it down into comic size ones as well.
Yeah.
I have the novelization of a lot of the Star Trek movies. I don't know if there's any differences in the novelization than the.
Yeah, I did my book report on Star Trek 4 in grade 6, I think. But yeah,
really.
Well,
and that it tells you what the aliens are saying to the whales, and that whole conversation in that book.
What you really need to read is the novelization to the motion picture that Roddenberry himself wrote, and it's got stuff in there that I mean, that's never been touched on anywhere else. Including, I mean, it's really good. Even though it's based on the script for In Thy Image, which was going to be the pilot for the Phase 2, which he and Alan D. Foster worked on, which I have somewhere. So
yeah, I have this. Is this the one, Clobby?
there you go. Yes.
I have it. I never read it though because I can't read. But other than that, I have.
Yeah,
it.
they re-released it a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I got these. You know, somebody gave. Did I? There's a pulp show which is back. The guy who runs the pulp, like pulp, like Doc Savage, Spider, Shadow.
Nice.
So there's like a pulp show. The guy literally, I would bug the director of the show, and then finally he put me onto this other guy who's now the head of that convention. And he emailed me. He literally emails me personally. He's like, "Okay, it's coming back. Here's the date." And he sent me the flyer.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm excited. I just want. And I think last time we went, I grabbed a bunch of these novels or something for they're like a buck or something because I got a shit ton of them. And but that's coming back, so
we'll hit it.
We'll hit that up.
That's cool. You got to go to those shows with you, man. I'd love to. That'd be so much fun.
And they're $3 to get in, so that's like for you, that's like $2. It's like it's
American.
Like $2.50 American to get into the
crazy.
show.
That's cheap.
It's
and
just
you probably find a lot of cool stuff.
And you know what? They have those. Did you buy the Masterworks from there, Sean?
Yes, I did. Because for some reason they had them for like $5 each or something. It was just getting rid of them. I was like, "Oh, shoot, man!" Yeah,
you could find the Masterwork. Used to be sometimes. I mean, some places like Tales of Wonder, other ones are some of these people now will set up at these cons with these cheap trades and cheap hardcovers. That's my favorite when you run into those. Oh my god, man!
Yeah. And Clobby, let me know when you got to go because you're doing your Mark C comic talk.
Well, yeah, I'm on at 9. I'm on in an hour and a little less under an hour and a half. So,
yeah, because we could just talk till you're whenever you're done. You can
minutes. I should probably run and go get ready for it, get something to eat for the thing and all that kind of stuff. But I got about 20 or so, and it feels
Yeah, because Sean, we pretty much go until about 10 minutes before you start, and then I log off.
Oh, that's cool.
So
it was fun talking to Felicia. We got to review more. Like I say, if you want to do it where we do it on every so often or every month or whatever you want to do it, I'm here, man.
Yeah, let's do it because we're doing and if we're doing, we can the week after or something or whatever it is. So are you saving your loonies for the next one? Oh yeah, Pat, you're a Canadian, right? That sounds good. Yeah. Well, I don't know where you are, Pat. Yeah, it's in downtown Toronto.
He's where I am. He's right. He's actually in my neck of the woods.
Oh yeah.
So,
okay. About as far, man. We're about as far off from each other as we can get, unfortunately. But if you're ever down in Louisiana, come.
Sean usually has to drive to my place, and then he parks at my place, and then I drive to the convention. But I think for this one, I can go to your place, and we can go. I'll go that way, and then I wouldn't mind going to that treehouse if you want to make
treehouse collectibles. Yeah, well, I'll take you there too. They're awesome.
You guys have some cool places. It sounds like.
No, oh my god! This place that Sean goes to, it's like all vintage toys only. So it's like a convention, but just as a shop.
Well, that's the thing. Like, we don't go to toy conventions anymore. We go mostly comic now. But for a while, I was losing interest in those shows because that place had stuff I'd never seen in these shows. So I was like, I don't really need those toy shows anymore. Yeah,
they are pretty good too. And I was watching, I've seen, I watch all the toy stuff. So I've seen you guys go out and I watch even with Retro Blasting, with Michael, where he goes out and he's like, oh, we need to see. And I'm like, and I was watching this video. I'm like, oh, this is like every month here. He's going through and he's like, I was like, oh my God, that guy would be broke over in Canada.
Yeah.
It's like, we've got 3 coming up.
Wow. Nice.
It's like,
there's a whole circuit here that's really healthy and vibrant. And we don't know how lucky we have it because some places it's not one a month or 2 a month. It's one every 5 months or something, right? So
we have it so often that I just be like, I don't feel like going to this one. There was one last Sunday. I'm like, I don't feel like going. We went to Steve's place and playing video games.
Because I asked you, is there not one this weekend? And you're like, oh, there's one the weekend after. We'll just do that. And I'm like, okay.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
We're just like, because the one that was just passed on this weekend, that was in Burlington.
Yeah.
And that one's okay.
But
and that
there's
one's
one
actually
this
not too
Sunday.
bad. But there's one this Sunday, but that's the Mississauga one for the comics, and it's $5 to get in.
Yeah,
and
That's not bad.
yeah. So for you, that's like $3. It's like $3 to get in. I mean, that's not even, and it's free parking.
Right.
So,
Wow.
Yeah.
I kind of rather hit shops than shows, to be honest, if I can. I mean, we don't get that many. I like that better, but shows are great. It depends when you go.
The shops. The problem is that there's only, and Sean, I'm going to take you to this one shop for the back bins soon, but there's not that many. Like my local comic book shop or whatever, it doesn't have any back issues further than 2010 or something. Like it's got toys and it's got like the wall of the Funko wall and all that. So it's got all of the Marvel. So it's got the Marvel Legends wall, and it's got the Todd McFarlane wall, and it's basically like a toy store with comics, and that's my local shop, and they always pull everything for me. So they get new comics, but if you're not interested in new comics, which obviously Clubby, you're not interested, it's not great. There's no package. They do have a few graded things, and they have maybe a couple of some wall books, but so I can't do anything there. I gotta we're trying for us, the shows is where I can get all this stuff. We don't have shops that have anything.
Shops are slim pickings here, like the comic shops. Yeah.
But I like to go to other cities when I haven't traveled in a long time. But when I can't go to any other city without having to seek out the comic shops if I have a chance. In all those years, I went to Dragon Con throughout the 90s into the 2010s, which is about I went about 22 or 3 years in a row with one skip because of a hurricane. Right. My thing was go to Atlanta, and yes, it was a con, but also there's a couple shops we went to every time. That Saturday of the con, we'd have to go hit about 2 or 3, and they were just so much better than what we have down here and some stuff. I mean, there's always so much to get. Bookstores and comic shops and things like that. I
think the best time was, for me, it's the TSR game, like that time, because every shop that I would go to had tons of proper back issues. So silver, bronze.
Yeah.
And they were all pretty affordable. All of those Captain Americas now, that it's the first this, the first that, and all this Falcon and Winter Soldier crappy show. All of these characters is it's all when that was on, all these books were high, and I bought them all for $2 or whatever. Yeah. Nice. and it was no one cared, you know, and that was so good because you could just get anything, and then these shops carried it. But now they're really just they're really toy stores,
toy shops. Yeah.
I don't know.
And plus, go on.
No, go.
Yeah.
I was
gonna say, in the late 80s, early 90s, during the boom, I know people don't talk very fondly about the boom, the spec boom, but because of that, there's more shops. It's we have Silver Snail, and there was 2 of them, and even the Canada Post guy in on it. You went to the post office and they had a wall of comics. Everyone was in on it. It was pretty awesome. And a lot of those keys that people die over nowadays were fairly affordable. A kid could, I saved up to buy the first appearance of Rogue and stuff. It's $10.
I also had that.
Yeah. And now it's that's gone. It's everything's priced way out of reach, and you're lucky if you could find anything beyond 1991. It's none of it's old. I could buy Solar, I bought those 2 Solars yesterday. That's rare.
Yes.
Because
you got some Solars?
Whoa. Yeah.
Oh, so at that shop that we were just talking about that we went to on the weekend, they had Magnus Robot Fighter Gold Key. They had Solar.
Okay.
Who else? They had a bunch. And Sean grabbed those. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but it used to be that you could find those at comic shops, and because no one was really looking for them, you could buy them for $4, $8 maybe. But now it's hard. That's why we go to the shows. The shows have the stuff that we can't find at comic shops here, at least. Yeah.
That shop that Sean mentioned, Silver Snail, is 2 floors.
Oh. It's famous here, yeah.
Yeah, it's famous here, dude. 2 floors. We're we'd make the trip. We're oh, here we go. People would be
it's not 2 floors now, but it's
not 2 floors anymore.
No. You walk upstairs, and it's a big area, and there's a
Yeah.
coffee shop in it. It's moved. You know it's moved, right?
No, I
It's
haven't been
more.
there in like
Oh
decades.
yeah, it's around Dundas, and it's not the same place. It's not in at
Oh,
Queen anymore. Um,
oh.
it's around Dundas Square. It's around there.
Now, so
Um,
could not be reached. Could not be reached is in our neck of the woods. Yeah, he's saying it's not what it used to be at the.
no,
Oh
it's not
man.
where it used to be. It's very hipster. It's like there's a coffee shop right in it.
You know,
But yeah.
a coffee shop pissed me off. I don't drink coffee. Okay, I like and I don't need to sit around and pretend I'm like snooty. It's like I just want my stupid comics and I want to leave. I don't want to have coffee while I'm there. That
Yeah.
irritates me.
Yeah.
That there's
Yeah.
there used to be a sci-fi. Okay, oh, actually, there was a sci-fi cafe. That
Mhm.
was cool.
Yeah.
You go there and they had. I don't know if you guys like. Oh, I mean, yeah, you all like the same, like the Conan books and those kind of like gore
Sure.
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they had all of the TSR books and they had all like novelizations of everything. So it was like a sci-fi section. It was like rows and rows. It was by our university, Sean, that we went to that one. And it was
Right.
rows and rows and rows of all the sci-fi novels. Man, I bought all the TSR books from there. I
Yeah.
got like such cool, I still have them. They had like every whatever it was, they had it. Like every sci-fi thing, they had all the editions of it. It was so cool.
Yeah.
They have a Loki tells me that he lives down at it was another friend of mine. I forget what it was. Somewhere down in the Houston area. They have a comic shop with a pizza place in it,
Ooh.
and they like the
Yeah.
pizza. So I'm like, well, what was in the stupid movie Kick Ass had that? Remember?
Mhm.
The comic shop in there had a pizza thing or whatever. I'm like, yeah, I would eat as long as the comic shop's good. I'd eat the pizza. I just don't really need that with my comic shop personally.
No.
I just want to see tons of old quarter bin. Okay, that's a habit. They're not quarter bins anymore. They're dollar bins
Dollar
now.
bins,
I want to see the dollar bins. I want to see old stuff all over the place. I don't want to see one Funko, but I know I'm going to see them anyway. I don't want to see magic cards, but I'm going to see them anyway. I know they're going to be there. But
it's all magic
I've always wanted to
cards,
go to Midtown Comics in New York. That's what a dream of mine. Watch it. If I ever got to go, it'd be probably disappointing, but it's gigantic from what I understand. Like
Let's see.
floors and floors.
There you go.
They probably have a lot of stuff.
Is this it?
Midtown
Whoa.
in New York. Oh, it's a monster.
Yeah.
And what do they say? And it's like, yeah, look at that.
I've never been in it, but I've seen the outside of it, and then I had to go somewhere else.
I would love to go there. I would love to. Even though I always wanted to go to Mile High, but the guy that owns it, owns it is a. Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
But
No,
still,
I know.
Midtown. You know about him.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Look at that.
He almost
Oh.
single-handedly destroyed the comic industry, but anyway.
Yeah, and he's a sicko. But yeah. So there you go. It's I hear that Midtown is just really has it all. I mean, they have all the modern neat drivel that you would ever want as well. But I hear they have a lot of. They're big in the way of back issues now. Their price is any good? I don't know. It's like I've always heard about Forbidden Planet over in the UK. Like, man, if I was over there, I would want to go to that one.
Yeah, and you can order from them. You can order from online, but it's just for toys. If I was going to have the thing is, nobody would like my comic shop because Sean and I were going to open up a Blu-ray, like a DVD store, and then it's like I always wanted to have a comic shop, but my comic shop would be literally only comics, nothing else. Maybe some statues or whatever, but like that would be it, and everyone would hate it because it's like like they wouldn't like that, right? So I'm like, well, you're here to read comics. You're not here to buy a toy. It's like Toys R Us. I just went to Toys R Us today. It's right across the street from me. I walk there.
Oh man, we miss those.
Oh yeah.
So I just walk across the street. My wife was going to the dentist, so I just walked across the street, went to Toys R Us, and went to the dollar store, got a Snickers.
Wow.
Got a Snickers, got some pretzels, went to Toys R Us, came back.
Damn.
So we do,
man.
But that's for toys. I want comic books to be. I want the comic shop to be the comic shop.
Yeah.
I don't mind if it carries some other stuff like this. I don't know if you saw when Mark D went to that store in Nashville. He showed this place called McKay's Books in Nashville, I think it's where it is literally the size of a big football field. It's a warehouse size thing. They have a couple of floors, and they have all kinds of toys, books, albums, all kind of other stuff, and comics. A gigantic comic section of not so much new stuff like old back issues, It's got everything. You could spend a day in there. It's called McKay's. It's in Nashville, and it's if you look, he showed us he went there a couple months back and took a bunch of pictures. He spent like a good part of the day there.
Oh my
I like
God!
that
I'm going
kind
to
of
share the
place.
screen.
Look
Sean,
at
you're
this
going to have
place.
a heart attack.
It's outrageous.
Is this
Comics,
it?
books, yep, used books, comics,
You can't
DVDs,
do it in there.
Blu-rays, albums,
Yeah.
vinyl,
Oh
toys,
my God!
a huge toy section. You should have saw him the pictures he showed of. They got all kind of loose toys there. This place, I could spend days in there.
Yeah.
So there was
That's what I
we
would
used to go to these we used to go to these midnight showings in downtown Toronto, and there was a warehouse. It was 2 or 3 levels. I think it was 3 levels. And level 1 was movies, level 2 was music. So, or I think maybe it was just 2 levels.
Sonic Boom.
Sonic Boom.
Ah,
Is that still there?
They,
And
they,
like
they moved it.
they
from
moved
there.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
And man, yeah, you'd go down to the records, and they'd have cassette tapes, VHS tapes,
right.
vinyl, and then the top level would be Blu-rays, DVDs,
what this
CDs.
What's the name of that Michael Cera movie again? The one where he's in Toronto and he
Oh
plays the
yeah,
guitar. Something versus the world.
Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim. Yeah. So because that movie took place in Toronto, they're in Sonic Boom in that movie, and it is the actual store. It's not doubling
really?
for something else.
Wow.
So yeah.
These pictures here you can see are taken from the second level. People are standing up on the balcony. The second level is all the comics that go around the damn whole place, just about like comic boxes you wouldn't believe. This all the books down there, and the toys are down on the front they have 3 locations, but this one's in Nashville. They have a couple, like I think one in West Virginia, and maybe a couple in North Carolina somewhere, but only like 3. I mean, look at the toy section alone. It's crazy. You're gonna find something there.
Yes.
I love used bookstores. Oh, good Lord.
Oh yeah.
And who knows if but this has a lot of stuff. He found he was on a trip with his wife, so he'd flown there, so he couldn't buy whatever he wanted because he's crazy. Now he buys everything. But he found a few things he was able to put in his briefcase, tons and tons and more. He said he could have been there all day.
Christ.
But his friend, he brought him over to it because he thought he would want to see it. And he said he didn't want to make the guy wait all day, so he just went as long as he could. But if I'm passing through there, and a few years ago I was planning a trip, and I looked up I wanted to see what places they had in Nashville I could stop at. And I did see something about this place that I would have went there, and it just didn't happen. If I'm driving through there, I could probably be there the whole damn day.
I mean,
better than Second and Charles. We have a place called Second and Charles and similar to that. It's by genre, 45s, new arrivals. I mean, it's crazy.
This is insane. Oh, just movies alone. I can just go to the horror movie section.
Oh, you'd be there for a while.
Like, I can't. I mean, we used to go to that thing, that Sonic Boom or whatever, and just like right to the horror movies, and I buy all these weird movies that like nobody heard about. And it's crazy.
One day I'm gonna just what the hell go through there. Gary always said he wants to start up another shop that has all kind of stuff. Gary for Nerdrotic,
yes,
a comic shop and all that stuff, and where he would have a movie theater in the back and all this other stuff, Blu-rays and every other kind of thing. And to hell with new comics. And I just said, dude. And I actually got to talk to him the other day again. I said, dude, when you start that shop, I'm making a road trip down there.
Oh yeah,
it's not far. It's drivable for me. It's a drivable distance. So.
Yeah, well, I would have loved. I wanted to do there was a lot of cool. There was a manga cafe here. It didn't last very long, but you walked in and you just paid like $10, and they gave you a drink of your choice, so you could have like tea or coffee. Or they do I usually get bubble tea with like the little tapioca in it and all that.
Yeah, my daughter likes that stuff.
Yeah, well, your daughter has good taste, just like me.
She likes all that manga and anime stuff.
No, but so it was like $10. You can sit there all day. You get a drink, and they have every manga, and it's just like this. And they have a sitting area, and then they have a projector room where they have anime, where you can take the anime, project it into the screen. They have the reclining seats, and you watch it that way. And then they have an arcade, and they have about 8 machines hooked up with all of the different games. You can play Street Fighter or whatever. And then they had a wall of all of the like Gundam toys and Dragon Ball and all that.
Yeah.
And you just go and hang out. I was like, and Sean, it wasn't too far from you. It didn't last very long because people aren't going to go there and hang out. Like they right? Like it's like the business
Yeah.
model,
Go,
is
but not
there.
so hang out so much. Yeah.
Yeah, people are
The
just gonna
actual
have it
love
on
of
their
the
phone.
thing is not really, you can't capitalize on that because there aren't a lot of people. It's all trendiness rather than
Yeah, they gave it a shot though.
love of it. Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
shops
We were
don't make
upset.
it.
Like my wife was genuinely upset because we'd go all
Oh.
the time, and she was like, "Oh man, this sucks."
Oh man.
And I'm like, like we got our iPad, and you can
Mhm.
read everything on the iPad. So
Yeah.
it's
Wow.
like, what am I going to go to the shop for, right? Like,
True.
Right.
she pays
Damn.
She pays $3 a month to Shonen, and she gets everything. Like not just
It's
one
all that
comic,
stuff.
all of it. Like
Mhm.
all of it.
She follows some new stuff that comes out every month and everything.
For manga, oh yeah, oh no, she's following like a lot of manga. Like it's like it's like I got her into it, and she's like way surpassed me. Like I'm nothing now.
My son's favorite thing in the universe is One Piece, and
she's
he's
got it
following
all.
every month he gets it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wow.
he's following it, and he gets always mad at me for he wants to get me to start on the manga. I said, "Do you realize how much of that there is? I will not live long enough to." I mean, it's just insane.
This is good. I haven't read that
He
one,
loves
but
it.
my wife caught up. There's like 1,000 chapters, so it's like 1,000
Over
issues.
1,000 now. Yeah.
Yeah, and she read them all. She's caught up.
Really?
She's
Okay, there you go. It's a lot of people. There's I don't know if it's called an amusement park or whatever you would call it, but there's a place in Japan that it's a One Piece park, theme park thing.
Wow.
I don't know what if it's house huge or anything, but of course he's going to be going to Japan eventually soon, maybe in the next year or so. My daughter's already been, but there you go. See,
we wanted to go to Japan. That was our big thing.
They're going soon. My daughter already went a couple years back, and they stayed for like a month and a half. She and her significant other,
that's awesome.
And yeah, so people love this thing, and of course they've got I hear the impending
Yes.
it was a Netflix series is live action is a disaster.
Oh, it'll be a disgrace.
Just like the other one they did, Cowboy
I think
Bebop.
that they don't know. You know what the thing is? I'll say this: the fans of manga are very passionate and also proactive. See, we'll just be like, well, this movie sucks and whatever. They're just like, F this, we're not watching it, period. And that's it. They're not going to watch it to review it. Like we watch stuff to review it. We do a stream about it and whatever.
Right.
Like, they're just exactly like that. So I don't want to watch that crap. I teach them about it all the time. So you're gonna watch that live action? Shut up! I don't want to watch it. Shut up! Go now. No.
Like Death Note, which is one of the ones. It's a horror thing, so of course I liked it. And live action Netflix came out. I'm like, but they made live action Japanese movies that were fine, and now you made live action English movies. I'm like, this is trash. They changed the characters around. They changed the one character. They race swapped them. I'm like, but how come he's supposed to be a Japanese character? So when he's Japanese and he's race swapped, that's okay. I don't.
Yeah. They're all Japanese and it takes place in Japan. That's part of the plot.
That's part of the plot. And the guy that they changed was L, who is the most Japanese person of all time.
Yes.
He's got the hair. Yeah. He drinks his little sugar teas and all that.
And
I was like, this is literally a Japanese guy. Like you can't change. And in the live act, if you watch the live action, the Japanese live action, it's exactly the character. Like it's like it's crazy. Like anyway, so yeah, and nobody watched it.
Nope. They don't care. I admire the manga fans, and of course also envy them because they usually don't have their things ruined because most of them are still being done by their original creators and they respect their fans. It's just a completely different culture and different kind of fandom. They're respectful to their fans. They treat them well, as we've talked about earlier, and they don't have to. They don't. It's sort of like it'd be like. If I were lucky enough to have the Fantastic Four done by Jack Kirby forever and nobody else ever touched them.
Right.
Just use an example. Now, it's a lot longer time ago, but still, since One Piece started in the late 90s or something like that, it's the same guy, and he's totally in control of it, totally owns it. He's had his problems here and there, health-wise and everything, but he always gets the thing closely out on time. He doesn't screw around, doesn't change stuff to piss off his fans, any of that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And if Kirby had owned it like he should have, and all those things had gone, of course, it was a different time when people didn't do that. He wouldn't have done things just to piss off his fans or be rotten to them, or anything like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. No, exactly. Phantom. I've got Project Echo, the full thing, and the CD soundtrack for the anime, which was tons of fun. I have the CD soundtrack, which is crazy. Captain Harlock, I've got the new CGI movie. I don't have any of the old stuff. Bubblegum Crisis, I have everything. I have everything for Bubblegum Crisis.
Man, you got it all, dude. I don't know how you have enough time in the day to like all that stuff you like.
Jason's been into Project Echo as long as I've known him, and I've known him for like 22 years. So
okay, so check this out. I paid $33 plus tax, and in Canada tax is like 1,000%. So it was like $40 for a VHS tape of Project A-ko 2.
Yeah.
$40 for when it came out. Anime was really expensive. I'll show you just for 2 seconds. Like you see, like, look, this is the cartoon. If you see my mouse, this is the live action guy. So it's exactly him. And then this is the Netflix version. That does not
When's
look like
that coming
this.
out?
That's already came out.
Yeah, that's years ago. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay. So yeah, he looks just like him. I can't tell the difference.
Yeah, I can't tell the difference. Eh? Like I mean, see, like, look, there's the cartoon. There's the live action guy. So look, it's like, look at the hair. It's even the same hair. And look, he's got the knees. He's got his hands on his knees. This is the Japanese version. Here's the English version. Like, are you for real?
Boy.
How are these two things the same?
Are they doing the same shite to One Piece, or no, they didn't change them?
I'm
That
sure
I
they
heard it's
will.
gonna be crap.
Yeah. I heard that there was a screening and people didn't like it. So
yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
Okay.
What the hell?
So that's the demon in live action. Okay. So that's the demon in live action, and there's the animated thing. It's exactly, it's exact, right? Like,
wow, imagine that, respecting the characters and
like
doing
it's
it
right. I've got a keychain of this. I have like every, it's like, I don't know. I'll remove that. Yeah. Anyways,
just respect, man. Oh man, well, I love doing this, and I want to do it again, man. I do have to go run to get ready for the gentleman coming on who's got a new comic. He's crowdfunded comic. Gentleman by the name of Jason Sandberg. It's a comic, very Kirby-esque looking. He's a big Kirby fan, and it's kind of an homage to it. It's a crowdfunded book he's got called Jupiter. We're going to be talking about that tonight, and so. And
is that on your channel right tonight?
Yeah, tonight, and in about an hour. And I was on a stream with him last week on Nick's channel, and he's talking about his new comic and talking about other things too. I was impressed with how much he knows comics, and so and he's a good artist, and his comic is kind of a tribute to Kirby stuff. It's a pretty interesting book called Jupiter. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit, and so looking forward to that and hang with him. But man, dude, you guys are the best. I have so much fun hanging and talking with you. I mean, it's just the best. I don't know what to say. I love doing this. And never better when it's great company like you guys. So thank you.
Thank you for coming on. And we're definitely doing it again for sure for Legion. I put the link to this to your live stream coming up. We're gonna I'll be on there anyways. I'll be in the chat.
Cool, man. Sean, my friend, always great, buddy.
Nice having you on, man. It's great talking to you about all this stuff.
I love it, man. I can't get enough of geeking out, as you clearly see.
Yeah. All right. Well, Sean, we can stay on for another minute or two, and then Clobberin, I'll see you.
All right, everybody. All right, guys. All right, thanks, man. Clobberin, everybody. Have a good one, and I hope I see you soon.
All right, take it easy. Okay. Let me get your link in the chat. So Sean's getting up there you're getting up there in subs, but we're trying to get a few more in for you. So I think everyone on here is already subscribed.
Probably, yeah.
Just in case.
Yep.
Put it in there. I got it in there. And,
all retro stuff, lots of comics.
Right.
I'm doing coloring books right now, but yeah.
Are you coloring in the coloring books, or are you?
No. And I have another Defenders of the Earth one I'm going to show. So yeah.
Awesome.
I'd like two of those. Yeah.
Let's take a look at the poll here. We have 12 votes. Lightning Lad and Cosmic Boy are tied, and Saturn Girl came in last.
Oh yeah. Wow.
Have I seen? Oh yeah, no. Sean's channel, is awesome. Long live the Legion.
Oh, thanks, man.
No, I've not. I don't know this one at all. I know Urutsuku Doji, Legend of the Overfiend, but we're not going to talk about that'll be something that'll never be on any stream of mine. that won't be on any stream, unfortunately. I won't be sharing the screen on that one.
Yeah.
Well, I've got so many things. My collection, actually, my anime collection is actually in the living room because my wife also, that my wife and I both enjoy. There's about 4, like you see how the shelves are here. We have 4 shelves of stuff in the living room, and she has her private collection. She's got about, I think, 4 shelves of her private collection, which is just manga and statues or Funko Pops, whatever.
Right.
And I've got my manga collection is actually in this other room here. So it's not all here, and then there's lots of
Right.
stuff in storage. So it won't all be here, and I don't know everything. I was kind of alone because I know, yeah, you weren't that pumped for it. Steve wasn't around for it.
Yeah.
You guys weren't as into.
It was a backroom thing. Also, I even back then I knew there was a lot of it. So I was
Mhm.
like, and also it was,
Yeah,
as you say, it was very, very, very expensive because it was rare. So like
right.
a single tape was like $40 or whatever. And it's like, and there's like, how many volumes? Like, and
Right.
you're like, I don't know, man. It's like
There's like
anime
four
and
Aprils, I think, or something, and you're like, okay, so
yeah.
40 times 4, like, holy shit.
Like there's you remember 1001 Comics, was that what it's
Yeah,
called? Downtown? Yeah,
yeah.
so they had a back room of all this stuff. And I would look at it and it's like it's awesome. They play them on YTV late at night.
Mm-hmm.
It's as though they played all the adult stuff at night, right? So
Right.
and they had like maybe 4 or 5 different ones that they would play. And they were all awesome. But I just never got into it, you know. It
Yeah.
felt like a commitment, you know.
You
Yeah.
can't do. Okay, so my wife is 100%. She does do any American comics, period.
Yeah.
Only manga.
Yeah.
And even with only manga, now she's surpassed me. She's almost read everything I've read, but she hasn't read Lone Wolf and Cub yet, which is my favorite. But
Yeah.
um, she's surpassed me in knowledge now. And the problem is that you have to be. She does nothing else
Yeah.
but manga.
Right.
There,
Yeah. You have to be committed. Yeah.
that's all. This is why she does like Funko Pops, because like that's all that you can. It's all manga
Yeah.
related characters.
Like, yeah.
She can't. There's nothing for her to collect. Like
Yeah.
she's not going to go and get this. I just picked up this. Superboy. Like she's not going
Yeah.
to go get this, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like, and either you get statues, which are super expensive, or you get the little guy, the Funkos. So
Yeah.
she can't get into all this. You have to be manga only. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And even that, she's not even nearly.
I've always been a bit of everything, but
Me
you got
too.
me into Death Note, right?
Yes, I
And
like
Death Note,
that.
I love Death Note. I've reread it a couple times now
Yeah, that's
because
awesome.
it's finite. There's a beginning and an end, and that's
Yeah, so
it.
a lot of these do. You gotta like the thing is, One Piece will end, but it'll be like, so in our
Yeah,
terms, a chapter, in their terms of chapters, like I don't know, 24 pages, which is kind of like a comic book. So you can kind of say one comic issue is one chapter, and they're like
right.
1,000+ chapters,
Yeah,
and it's one continuous story.
right. Yeah.
So I mean, you could just hop in, I suppose. I used to get
Well,
Weekly Shonen Jump for a
yeah.
while, which would give you one chapter of many
Hmm.
different ones.
Right.
But it's
Like
like,
Attack on Titan ended. I know that because when it
yeah,
ended, everyone freaked out.
yeah, it did.
But I can't remember how many chapters that it was, like 200
Um,
something.
I don't know how many chapters, but I didn't read that one, and neither did my wife. So we're doing the anime. So we watched the first 2 seasons.
Yeah,
Season 3 now. Okay, so then they start to. Then here's the other thing with anime: they start splitting them up.
yeah.
So it's season 3, part 1, part 2. Then
Hmm.
it's final season, part 1, part 2. You're like,
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah,
right? And bloody shit, they're like $50 a piece,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
I got seasons 1 and 2 and 3, and now I'm waiting for the final part 1 or something.
yeah,
And now we're watching Inuyasha.
yeah,
We're on we're almost on season 1, I think.
yeah,
So Inuyasha is one that I've wanted to watch from the 90s. I'm literally getting around to it now.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
this is
yeah,
how crazy it is.
yeah.
So she got the manga just now. So she read the
Uh-huh.
first 3 chapters and she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, shit, it's awesome." I was like, "Okay." I
Mhm.
said, "Well, I said I can't. I was like, "Let's watch the anime. It's on Netflix with
Yeah.
subtitles." There you go. So people say Netflix sucks, but Netflix actually has a lot of anime.
There's some good anime on there, man. I've been watching Seven Deadly Sins.
Oh,
Um,
right. Okay.
that's cool, man. I like it.
That's a big one.
And I see toys for it now at Walmart.
Yeah, they're
You know?
wrong, right?
Yep.
There's
Yeah, yeah,
toys. Yeah,
yeah.
no, I
So
know.
yeah, no, they're pretty. Netflix is pretty good for that. The thing is,
Right,
once they get the rights to the thing to show it, then they try to make a live action American version of it,
right. And then
and
it
it
sucks.
sucks. Yeah,
Right. And that's
yeah,
see, yeah, people complain about Netflix. It's trash. Ninja Scroll. Oh, okay.
yeah.
But
Ninja Scroll was on YTV.
could not be
Yes.
reached. This he did not know this. I'm I'm the basilisk master.
Yeah.
Okay. I have all of the manga for Basilisk. It's only like 5 or 6 volumes. I read it all. I have Koga Ninja Scrolls, which is the novelization, which is the novel that came out before the manga.
Mhm.
I have the complete anime,
Mhm.
and I have Shinobi Heart Under Blade, which is the live action version of Basilisk.
Yeah.
Ninja Scrolls, that's a different thing, which I have.
Yeah.
I saw the movie. I don't know if there's anything other than the movie, but Basilisk, I'm the friggin' Basilisk champion. And it's so funny because when have I ever mentioned that? I've been on YouTube for 10 years. That has not
Yeah.
ever come out
Yeah.
because there's okay. So Sean, I'm the Basilisk champion, and you didn't know that.
Yeah.
I have everything there's ever been done. The first was a novel. I have the novel. The
Yeah.
novel became an anime. The novel became a manga. Got it. The manga
Yeah.
became an anime. Got it all. The
Mhm.
anime became a movie, and that one you have Heart Under Blade. Do you have that one?
Yes, I do. I have that.
That's what Basilisk is,
Yeah.
except for 5 characters per.
I didn't
It's
even know that. Like I've heard of Basilisk, but I didn't know that was like a part of that whole franchise. It's cool. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, it's a cool little ninja thing. It's awesome. Yeah.
dude, that Heart Under Blade movie. If you thought
Yeah.
it was cool, I'll
Yeah.
tell you right now, it's trash. Like if you watch the real thing, there's a guy who has no arms.
Yeah.
His name is like Jinbei or something. I can't remember the names. And he has things on his chest that move him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he has a long tongue that has a sword. So he goes and then fights with his tongue sword. And you're like, this is crazy. And I'm like, that guy ain't in the live action movie. The live action movie took out all the weird guys.
Yeah.
194 episodes. There you go.
Wow.
Yeah, Basilisk is awesome. 2012 version of Battleship Yamato. No. Did you see
I
that one?
saw the trailer for it, but
Yep.
it looked cheap. But like I'd watch it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Did you buy the Harlock, Captain Harlock? No. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, well, was it Phantom? Was that you who mentioned that? I'll show you what it is.
They played a lot of that on Bravo. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh,
They used
yeah.
to play a lot of Captain Harlock stuff on there.
All right. So this one, let me know, Phantom. Let me know if if you've seen this one. So this CGI version, I own this on Blu-ray.
It looks neat.
It's super neat.
Yeah.
But I have not read. I tried to go back to read the original one, and I was like, there was just so much going on, so I didn't finish it. But this CGI movie was really neat.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lord Thoth has everything in. Harlock is awesome. Okay, so see, there you go. See, no, Sean, these are we never talk about this, you and I, because it's like, this is the movie.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. Like we could always do it if we ever do anything at my place, we could do like a weird anime day. Harlock could be a huge property. Yeah. Did anyone like oh god, what is it called? Oh, it's a one-word movie. It's pretty new. It's about these guys that have fire powers, and there's firefighters. It's what the hell is it called? Paprika? No, not Paprika.
No. A movie or a series?
It's an animated movie. Anime movie. Oh, I also like Ghost in the Shell. I own every Ghost in the Shell thing there is to own.
Yeah.
In terms of movies, TV shows, all that. What the shit was that thing called? Oh, let me see. Let me see. Anime. Movie PA. Not Paprika. No, that's not. That is an anime movie. That's not the one I'm thinking about. Oh my god, I can't remember now. Anime movie. Oh, Samurai 7's cool too. Yeah. Firefighters. This is it. Promare. That's it.
Okay.
Did anyone like Promare? It's a bit weird, but okay. Next time you come over, Sean, I'm going to show you just 1 minute of it. It is so like it is seizures. Like
Yeah.
it's like 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 I was like, wow. Like we
Yeah.
had to take a break, and it's properly animated, unlike Spider-Verse. It's
Yeah.
like we had to take. I was like, I got to take a break here. So it's like these firefighter characters versus these guys that shoot, and the fire that they shoot is like weird pink and purpley fire.
Yeah.
It looks. I know it looks a little weird here, but like when you see it in animation form, it's so weird. It's so neat. But yeah, Project Echo. Yeah, here we go. And that's Biko and Seiko. Perfect edition. I don't have that. I have the box set, which looks like this.
Yeah.
And the other one and we're watching right now. Have you heard of Inuyasha?
Yes, yeah. I've heard of it.
That's what we're watching right now.
Cool.
This character, Kagome, is badass. She's a great character. All right. So Wild Stars, okay. Yeah. Samurai 7 is wicked too, which is it's basically Seven Samurai, but there's like mechs and stuff and like whatever.
Cool.
So it's like see, anytime the Japanese do anything, it's the cool version of it.
Yeah.
Like they never make a lame version, right? So it's like, right, like cool shit like this. You're like, look at this guy.
Yeah.
Like that guy's like a badass. Yeah, how come they don't make cool things like that? It's like it's always the lame. Anytime America does, or whatever.
Why they can't? Yeah, well, it's because they're not free and loose with their fantasy. Everything has to be grounded and realistic, and that wouldn't really happen. Well, no shit, it's fantasy.
Yeah, you got these movies, right, Sean? You got all these, right?
Yeah. I have the whole thing. Yeah.
I mean, look, this is exactly the movie. Like you watch the movie, and it's like, yeah, that's him right there.
Yeah.
Like I don't. Like it's crazy. Daigoro was awesome. Cute little kid with did you get this Criterion?
Yes,
one?
yeah. That's one I have.
That's the one you have, right?
Yeah.
Hey, you know what I saw on the horror? I finished watching In Search of Darkness Part 3, which is like 5 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
They had Carolyn Monroe
Mm-hmm.
on, and if you guys can see, I put up my Carolyn Monroe autographs right there. They had her on talking about Paul Naschy.
Oh yeah, cool.
She was in one of his movies or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, Sean will be pumped for this one. I don't know.
It's awesome, yeah.
So I forgot which one it was. Paul Naschy. I guess Carolyn
Monroe.
There we go. So which one was it? It's all just Carolyn Monroe pictures.
Yeah.
It was one of the. Which one's
it's in that, so I have it. If it's in that,
I think it's in this collection too, or whatever.
Yeah.
I'd have to check. Yeah, we have to look up her.
I would remember this, but I don't.
This one. It's this one. Howl of the Devil.
Howl of the Devil. I have that somewhere. Yeah, I don't think it's in that collection though. But yeah.
Yeah, this is the one. That's the one that they're talking about. 88. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. So that was kind of random. I was like, oh my god! I'm like, this is the Sean thing.
I love Paul Naschy movies. Because he was trying, right? He got up off his ass and he made, like, you can chortle at the cheapness of some of those movies, but like there's great imagination and he wanted to do gore stuff and it's cool gore, man. You know,
beats.
Like you saw that, like the movie you saw is his best one.
It's awesome.
Beast and the Magic Sword. I mean,
that was awesome.
That is his best, but
yeah, no, that was wicked. But yeah, no. Anyway, all right. I think we'll end off there. We're past 2 hours now, so I'm gonna go. I will probably see most of you guys in the chat. I usually lurk on Mondays. I usually lurk in the chat now, but I'm gonna be on here. So he's got a writer, artist, Jason Sandberg. I'm looking at it right now. So that starts in about half an hour. Jupiter. So I've never seen this. So I'm gonna check. I'll check that out. And tomorrow is new comic book, so Exo Man of War comes out
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hopefully my letter is in it because I wrote a letter to them.
Yeah.
So hopefully the letter makes it in. But yeah, so no stream tomorrow. Next stream is going to be Wednesday with Steve and I talking about wrestling, and then we're going to do Secret of the Sword. That's coming down. That's coming down at some point.
Yep.
We'll do the 40th anniversary of the real Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi, yeah.
There's a few other anniversaries coming up that you had told me about as well.
Strange Brews towards the end of summer.
Okay, so we gotta do Strange Brew.
Yeah.
Anything that's coming out, just email me.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do it. All right, guys, that's it.
All right.
Until next time, Legionnaires.
Hey friends, you've just been listening to J-Man, and he is the smartest person who ever lived. So make sure you like and subscribe.